Training for your next big race and not sure about your nutrition? Well, Precision Fuel and Hydration are sponsoring the show this month, and their free online planner has you covered. It calculates exactly how much carbs, sodium and fluid you need to smash your goals. Me and the team at Inside Running Podcast swear by the 90 gram resealable gel to have on our long runs. It's been a game changer for us. If you want to crush your race day strategy, hit the link in the show notes, try the planner and grab 15% off your first order with the code IR-SPRING2025. That's IR-SPRING2025. Hit the link, grab your discount and crush those goals. Now on to the episode. Welcome to episode number 391 of the Inside Running Podcast. Thank you for being with us for another episode. This one's going to be big. We got Boston Marathon results, London Marathon results, Ballarat Marathon results, Diamond League kicked off in China, and all the other segments that we talk about every other week on this podcast. So thanks for joining us. Moose, you're down in Anglesea. Welcome to episode number 391.
Thanks, mate. Good to see you yesterday.
Was good to see you. Didn't get to see you as much as I would have liked on course during the race, but it was good to catch up for a beer afterwards, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was out and about. I was doing things. I had other people to follow, not just you. You're not the one star in my life that guides me. There's others that you did well. It was again good to see you strong in the second half. We won't go too much into it, but it's nice to see Brady have a good day in person.
Just not pop. Yeah, that's good. Croaks, how are you up there in Canberra?
I've been crook, Brady, quite crook. So I'm glad we're recording tonight and not Saturday or Sunday night because I would have been a scratching, I reckon. But congrats on the PB, Brady. Very impressive how consistent you are over the marathon. It's hard to do.
Thank you, Croaks. Thank you. It was a tiny little PB. I crossed the line and I swear like the clock said like 2:19:30 and my PB is 2:19:40. So I was like, I'm clear here. And then I was telling everyone 10-second PB and Carly's like, nah, your like net time, like official, or your gun time was like 2:19:38. Like it was a 2-second PB. And I was like, okay, maybe they started the clock a bit earlier. It was definitely much tighter than I thought it was across the line there. There's photos of me like walking away from the finish line and the clock's still not at my finishing time. So, yeah, a bit tighter than I actually thought it was.
Still crazy, isn't it? Hey, your two fastest ever times were in Ballarat.
I know.
Makes no sense to me at all. I
travel
can't get my head around it. No,
travel factor? That could be a thing.
Nah, it's not that. It's not travel factor.
Less pressure.
Good at altitude, Moose? Real good at altitude?
Less pressure is probably it. I reckon like the head game starts for you once you travel. Like the travel.
There was a bit of pressure yesterday.
No, there wasn't. I don't reckon there was pressure on you yesterday.
I was feeling pressure.
Maybe just to beat the pacer. That was the only
pressure on that, wasn't there? Do you want me to start recapping my week now? Do you want to go straight into it?
Yeah, do it.
It was pretty easy leading into it. So, Monday I did 45 minutes in the morning, 8 by 20-second strides, just 20 minutes, super easy in the afternoon. Tuesday I did trail for fartlek, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5-minute efforts with 1 minute jog between, so 25 minutes in total. Just working through the gears. I went 3:10 for the 5 minutes, 3:08 pace for the 4 minutes, 3:02 for the 3 minutes, 2:57 for the 2, 2:46 for the 1, and then 3:13 pace for the 5. Felt really good this one. All the other workouts I've been doing in the last 10 days felt pretty shitty. So it was good to get this one. Yeah, kind of done. Wednesday, 55 minutes.
Hold on.
Yep.
What do you think about this one, Croaks, for a
race week
workout?
Tuesday, by the way, moved it from, I've got off the Wednesday workout and moved this to Tuesday.
What was it again? Just run through it. I don't have your Strava up.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then a 5-minute effort at the end.
It's okay. Like, what was that? Was that the only session for the week?
Yeah, other than like a 3-minute effort on the Friday and 3 20-second strides.
I suppose it covers all bases in terms of running you're running faster than marathon pace in all of it, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I generally get people to do something a little bit quicker than that early on in the week, and then something more around marathon pace just closer to race day. But like I don't really think what you do in the last week is going to impact the race too much, as long as you don't overcook it.
Well, that's absolutely, it'll impact the race. You can easily impact the race. So. Yeah, like 8K of workout, nearly closer to 8 than 7.
Well, it's 20 minutes, isn't it?
Like my 2 standard sessions throughout
you think
the
too
week
much, Moose?
are like 5. So I get my athletes to do like 5 by 2 minutes as one of the sessions off a 1 minute slow jog, and then a bit later in the week 3K at marathon pace. So pretty much it's probably 8K's worth of work over the whole week, but
it's not at marathon pace. It's a lot quicker than that.
This is quicker than that.
Also, I would think I think it's on the border of being too much fast stuff in that wet race week.
If I told you I only did 16K on the Sunday, like I used to always do 90 minutes on the Sunday before, but it was just 16K, about 70 minutes.
I don't think that impacts things because you're still running fast.
Okay. Yeah, you think it's too fast?
Well, I think it's probably too much too fast. That's me anyway. But you had a PB, so
yeah. Yeah, maybe it could have been more of a PB. Anyway, felt good. Wednesday, 55 minutes easy. Thursday, did 10K in the morning. I ran our new Run a Chukamoama 10K course. That was good to get out there and do that. 4:22 pace, 20 minutes in the afternoon. Friday, 35 minutes. And then I did like 3 minutes at like 3:17 pace and 3 by 20-second strides just in like the last 10 minutes of that run. Like didn't change shoes or anything, just turn the legs over. Saturday, I was in Ballarat, so we went over Friday, dropped the kids off in Bendigo. Carly come with me, which was great. Got out for the Run to PB shakeout run around Lake Wendouree. Good to see some of our online athletes that we've, you see these names on Final Surge and Strava and get to have some Zoom chats here and there, but it's actually good to see them in person. So I did, 29 minutes at 5:15 pace. And then Sunday was the race.
Before we get to the race, did I see you up front of the group doing a bit of like a rev up, a bit of a speech before this run?
Oh, before the run started, yeah. Well, I said to Matt, how's Zaka? Zaka organises this stuff, sends it all out in an email to all the athletes running, isn't even in town. I'm just like, come on, Zaka, this is your responsibility. If you're going to send out the promo poster, actually be there.
So talk us through, Brady. Were you on top of a park bench, on top of a roof of a car? Where was you?
Nah. Feet were still on the ground croaks out front of the coffee shop, and I just welcomed everyone.
Head wasn't on the ground croaks. Head was way up in the air.
I tried to talk Matt into doing it, and he's like, nah, you're a better talker than I am. I'm like, oh, come on, Matt. So I just quickly delivered a quick welcome, and it's good to meet everyone. And I actually said, this is the Run to PB shakeout run. If you're not sure what you're doing here, this is where we're meeting. Ash Watson was there, which was nice of him, Moose, to come
Brady,
along.
you do a welcome to country?
No welcome to country there. No, didn't do that. And it was a quick 20 seconds, Moose, and then we got out jogging, and I was at the back of the pack. I was just chilling out the back. So, that was good. Good to see some faces that I hadn't met before. NordVPN has partnered with the Inside Running podcast to offer you an amazing discount. Head over to nordvpn.com/inside running to get a huge discount off your NordVPN plan, plus 4 additional months on top of that. Think of NordVPN as your personal bodyguard for your online activity. It encrypts your internet traffic, shielding your personal information from those prying eyes and online criminals with state-of-the-art encryption. It can help you book flights and hotels for your next race, as well as when you're over there, you can connect to a NordVPN server in your home country and safely enjoy the content as if you never left. Whether you travel, it's perfect if you want to follow local Aussie sport. With NordVPN, you can access all your streaming services from back home. Don't forget, there is literally no risk to you with their 30-day money-back guarantee. Give it a try, and if you like it, great. If you don't, they'll issue a refund, and you can pretend the entire situation never even happened. Check out our link, nordvpn.com/inside running, to get your subscription started today. You can also find all the information in our episode show notes and our link in our social media bio. Anyway, Sunday, race day come around. The plan was to go like 69 flat. I really wanted to try and run a 218 something. So I thought a couple of us kind of got together before the race and said, yeah, let's go for that, like that 316, 317 pace. I saw you in the warm-up, Moose, and I said, this is a bit windy, but this could be way worse in Ballarat. Like,
correct.
Conditions can be horrendous there. Definitely wasn't perfect. Definitely wasn't like as good as last year. But for running, I think it was probably, some terrible kind of weather for spectators being out there in the rain and the wind and stuff. But from a temperature point of view, I think it's perfect for marathon running, probably around, 11, 12 degrees. There was a bit of crosswind on the main section of the course, and then which you kind of had as a tail and headwind around the lake. So gun goes, pack. Well, half marathon goes off quick, so you kind of try not to get caught up in those guys. Alex Harvey, he went super fast off the gun and kind of jumped in with the half marathoners. Then Reece Edwards and Caleb Laker kind of got ahead as second and third place for the marathon. And then we just had this massive pack, I'm going to say, of 30 people through the first couple of Ks in 317, 318, which I was like, perfect. This is good. It's meant to be the sub 220 pack, but they're actually going a bit quicker than that pace. And to put things into perspective, you got to run 16:35 every 5K if you want to run, or if you want to break 220. And our first 5K was 16:29, including the uphill. So it was like, okay, that's good. Pack's still big. It was a bit like fartlecky. So even Toby pulled up next to me at one stage and like, do you reckon we're on or a float here? The numbers looked pretty good, but it was a bit kind of patchy, and a few people talking to each other in the pack. We had some big players in the race in this pack as well. So D Menzies, who we had on road to Ballarat, one of the favourites, he was kind of sitting in there. Fraser Daarcy was there. Matt Schumberg was there. Toby was there. So he wasn't anywhere near as aggressive with his kind of first 5K as I thought he might have been. So I just kind of, sat in that pack, tried to switch off a bit, which isn't easy when you're running with 30 people in there. But
were you taking that first 5K? Was that a split off your watch, or were you?
I manually hit it every 5K, yeah. So
at
that
the
was
markers,
at the K markers, which it did come out at 5.01. So they're obviously in the right spot. The next 5K, we all stayed together again, and we ran 16:39, and we had a tailwind up until the 10K point as well. Maybe not a tail, but a cross tailwind. It definitely was at our back, but not 100% directly. So we slowed down a bit there, and you could tell a few people were getting a bit edgy, kind of few people moving up to the pacer in front of us there. Then we went 16:24 to 15K, and going through the drink station at 12K, we had a pile up. It's never happened to me before in a race, but Fraser Daarcy went to grab his drink bottle and then missed it, stopped in front of the table. I just was running behind him. I just ran straight up the back of him, just collided. And then the person behind me collided with me. I haven't had a decent hip and shoulder since about 2001, boys, when I used to play footy. And I think I yelled out, moaned. I was like, oh, and then we kind of took this turn into Pleasant Street, and I was on a bit of a limp for 100, 200 meters, thinking just my right groin had this sharp pain. And I was like, shit, my race is over. I'm going to have to, pull this in here. But luckily it just kind of disappeared as we got onto the lake there, and we got into a bit of tailwind. So that next
what was your split? Go on.
Oh, well, that next 5K was a 16:24, including that kind of stack.
Yep.
So we picked it up. And then once again, I'm like, okay, this is good. We're back onto more 219 flat pace and actually 220 pace.
Yeah. So that drink station was absolute carnage, because it was on a corner but
just before the corner, yeah.
Yeah, so what was happening at the drink stations is like the cups were on the table, but there weren't enough volunteers to hand them all out, and the packs were way too big, and the drink station was too short for everyone to get across in such a small section. So these races that have this many people, normally the drink stations are like set out over 100 meters or so, whereas this was over 10 meters, and everyone was just trying to attack the drink station from like 4 deep. And the elites table was too short, and it was just packed too full. So you can imagine you're coming at it at 19k an hour, and you've got 15 people in a pack all wanting a drink off one small trestle table.
Yeah, and you got half marathoners there trying to get out of the road because they didn't have drinks. So it was just,
that's probably one thing like that was instantly noticeable about it, a fix for the next year is to if you're going to go to all this effort about sort of having it at such an elite race, they're probably a little tweak to the stations. It would be how I would improve it.
Yeah, just spread them out over 2 or 3 tables, because then they had a preferred table as well, which looked pretty packed. And once you got into the second lap, when you're actually lapping people, then like you couldn't get to some of the tables because they were between you and the drinks tables. So, but yeah, kind of got out of a bit of trouble there, got to the lake, got a nice tailwind, and then things started to pick up a bit. So Dean Menzies went off the front and Fraser Daarcy went with him, which was it kind of shocked me a bit because it was just as we were kind of hitting the top of the lake and we were about to hit the headwind. And I was like, I don't know what you boys are doing, but there's 30 people in this pack. Like, why are you running off? But they actually come second and third. So it was a good move that I
You didn't feel like going?
No, because I think we just ran that like 16:28. I was like, or 16:24. I was like, this is the pace. Like this is okay here, and I'm gonna I prefer like the comfort of the pack. And yeah, like Brad Carterfelt was still with us. Toby, like there were some good runners. Aiden Hobbs, like some guys who were similar ability to me. I felt were still in that pack. So yeah, then we went to 20k was a 16:32, so we slowed a tiny bit, and then the halfway split was like 69:44, which I just thought was a bit like kind of too slow. All the half marathoners like peeled off a bit. I would have loved to see like a 69:25 or maybe like a 69:30, but I felt really good. I was like, cool. All you have to do now, like my goal probably shifted from try run 2:18:59 to try and run a PB in that second lap. So yeah, we went up the hill on the second lap. Matt Schumberg kind of left our group and started chasing in like Dean and Fraser up the road. And then just the story of the marathon fellas, like I reckon 8 of us in that pack through halfway. And then by 29k, it was just me and the pacemaker. Like just guys spat straight out the back. Pace remained very similar, I reckon. Like we went from, we ran 16:28 for up to 25k and then 16:26 to 30.
Is 30?
Oh, sorry, hang on.
Is 30 at the turnaround point?
Yeah. Yeah. So picked up a tiny bit, 16:25. And then, just me and my pacer mate. He couldn't have scripted it better at 30k. I'm just like, shit, where's Toby gone? Where's Aiden gone? Where's Nate Stoke gone? Matty Schumberg was just just in front of us. Alex Harvey had come back at that stage. So like, I reckon I passed him at about 31k. So like Reece is first at this stage, and you got Fraser and Dean, and then the pacer, and then me. So I'm like, okay, this is just sit in, personal pacer, here we go. And he just kept clicking off, the required pace. Like we got to 30k, in 16:26, and then 35k in 16:34. And this was just as we were about to hit the headwind. And at this stage, like Dean's coming back to me. I think like the 36k mark, the split on the official timing, he's only 8 seconds in front of me. And I'm starting to get excited, fellas. I'm like, I'm on the podium. Like, this is a bit more prize money than I'm thinking of here. Dean Menzies is a bloody good runner who I look up to. So, like, actually beating him in a race would be fantastic. And then we turn like this top end of the lake, and the pacer guy just gets a tiny little gap on me. And then I was like, shit, I'm cooked. I'm in trouble. Like, this is like 37, 38K, probably run into like a 15, 20K an hour headwind. And then he just pulled in Dean instantly. And then you can see Dean's head kind of like look to the side, being like, am I racing like the pacemaker for third place here? And then I'm getting a bit pissed off because I'm battling into this headwind solo. I'm like, because I knew he said at the technical meeting the day before, he's like, I'm going to run 2:20.00 on the nose. If you want to come with me, cool. If you're not where you see me in the race, that will give you an indication if you're ahead or behind 2:20. And I'm like, doing the maths, I'm like, we're running 2:19.30 pace. Like, why is he? To be honest, I was falling off, but because of the wind, but he was also like picking up to get up to Dino. So then those two are like having this big like battle, like racing for third. I'm struggling out the back. Had like 2 bad Ks, which I know marathons, a lot of your Ks can sometimes go bad, but that 2K stretch up to 40K, I ran 3:25 and 3:28. And I was struggling big time. Ant Rickards was on the bike and he just gave me some really positive words, just like, keep going, get to the turn. Got to the turn at Pleasant Street, took the turn there to get out of the wind. And I just heard this massive like English accent, Liverpool accent, this guy screaming at me from the roundabout who was Jordan Donnelly. And then I'm like, right, Brady, you got 2K to go, get going down this hill, try to pull it back together. And then, yeah, kind of rolled the last like 1.2K, I think at like 3:10 pace. You do this in the last 300 meters, you do a tight left turn, go over a little bump and then do a complete U-turn and then go down the bump and then do a sharp right turn into a hill to then hit the finish line. So it's just mentally cooking you in that last bit there. And then I was just eyeballs out to the finish line thinking I'd ran 2:19.30 something. But actually ran 2:19.38 officially, boys. So a nice little 2-second PB, 69.44 to 69.54. So pretty good pacing. Not too bad there. 5th officially. Not sure if the pacemaker counts. I'm just waiting to see how much prize money I get, to see if I get paid for 4th or paid for 5th. Not sure what happens there. But yeah, a positive experience out there. I felt strong. There was a shitload of carnage, and I wasn't one of the people involved in that carnage. Crowd support moose, like that's got to be one of the like podcast heartlands, I reckon. Like when you were living there early days, so many people yelled my name, which I'm so grateful for. And just some people yelling out like penguin jokes, Croaks. Someone's like literally, whoever this person was at like 40K was like, hammer it home like a penguin or something like that. And I'm cooked. And then someone had a massive cardboard sign that just said, relax your jaw. And then said like, F this individual on another sign. Like didn't even like, use stars or anything to spell FUCK. And I was like, you can't be doing that. But I got a laugh out of it. And then
was it?
I'm not going to say who the person's name was, but there was
I got the picture. I got a photo of the card. DM me if you want to see it. Actually, no, don't do that. DM Brady if you want to see it. I sent it to him.
I haven't got a picture.
I know the guy who was holding the cards, Cameron boy. Yeah, he's a good guy.
He was a great guy. So, yeah, thank you to all the listeners out there in the Ballarat community. Like, almost, surreal how much that event has grown in 12 months, which does bring, like, problems. Like, the crowds to try and run through the half marathoners, definitely so much bigger this year. So that's, when the event gets bigger, things get more complicated and pinch points on the course and things like that. But the whole, like the elite athlete room we had beforehand, like that didn't exist last year. You can tell they're trying to be serious, sometimes a bit too serious. Like at the technical meeting, we had like a lecture from one of the officials, and she like pulled out a piece of paper that was like, this is the list of like ways I can pretty much disqualify you tomorrow. And it was like, don't tamper with your bib, don't have people on the course riding bikes, don't cut corners. And you're just like, I was like to Toby sitting next to me, like, someone's getting DQ'd tomorrow. Like this lady seems like she's on a mission. She wants to take someone down. She made reference, Croaks, that last year there was a man on the bike riding on the course and they were trying to catch him. And then people just like looking at me in the meeting and I'm just like, don't know who you're talking about. Don't know who you're talking about.
In Moose's defence, I reckon there would have been a few people on bikes last year. I reckon, was Gary Howard riding with Tommy?
Yeah.
There would have been heaps of people on bikes.
Let's get Tommy disqualified.
Yeah. Well, with the also in my defence, without me last year, you would have run into a sea of half marathoners crowding the entire path, not run a PB, given the race an absolute spray, and no one would have showed up this year.
Yeah. Yeah, you did a great job.
No, but on that, like Ballarat showing out, Ballarat is a running mecca. Like the culture of distance running in the town is unmatched probably around the country, like person for person. You've obviously got Mona who's done that for years, but also like we know Ballarat's the mecca, the breeding ground for distance running or endurance athletes in general. But the races also exploited this sort of opening or downtime in marathoning in the country where there's nothing really to show out for before Gold Coast. So like you had Canberra that sort of dropped away, like, and then Great Ocean Road Marathon sells out logistically. It's pretty difficult to get to, and it's not a fast place to run. Hobart's earlier in the year, so it's this sort of perfect timing, and they've really made it the sort of competitor's race. Like they put everything on for the competitor.
And
Or
you know it's going to be
athlete.
cold there. I think, like, yeah, you might be expecting some wind, but you know you're probably not going to get temps higher than, 13, 14 in April,
Yeah.
end of April.
That's right. Yeah, it was
So
very
yeah,
Ballarat conditions, like the
they're trying
dampness.
hard, and crowds like that. I had really really fond memories of it last year, and it's the same for this year. Like you go down Sturt Street, 41k, you know you're home. Crowds can run from one side of the road to see you're at 41.5k, and then go to the other side to see you at the finish. Like if there's any time in your life that you want to know you're alive, go to the 41k mark of a marathon with shitload of people screaming your name and you are absolutely cooked and you can't even like acknowledge them. I saw some photos of me today and I haven't been in that hurt locker for a long time, and it's what we train for. It's what you rock up for, to be put in a situation where you want to hunt down your PB and you've got to just rinse yourself at the end there. So yeah, fond memories again of Ballarat Marathon.
So you're saying you were hurting more yesterday than you were in Chicago?
Chicago was no. So I felt like I had way more fight yesterday. Chicago, I kind of got to like 32, 34k, and I felt like I just pretty much rolled 325s, 330s to the very finish. Whereas yesterday, I kind of got that feeling around 38k when I got smacked with the wind. But then at 40k when I got out of the wind, I'm like, okay, I can go again here. And it could have been a bit of a pussy move that it's like, well, if you could go again at 40k, maybe you should have hardened up and tried to find 10 or 15 seconds in that stretch where you had the wind. But
but then you may not have been able to run 310s at the end. So I think you always generally get it out of yourself in the end.
Yeah, maybe just how you get it out of yourself. So whereas this one was still had a bit to go, but I was cooked. Like even going down Pleasant Street, I was like, I feel like I could even vomit. Like it was just a bit of a grim feeling.
It's also,
and I think I've obviously got the pacing right. Like if I did go in 69, I could have been a guy that was caught up in that carnage.
That's my takeaway from your description, was like you saw the split at halfway and you said it felt super easy and it was almost like, oh, this is too slow. But in fact, it actually wasn't, because you weren't able to, you didn't negative split. You didn't negative split. Yeah. So it's just another more proof that first 20 to 30k needs to feel so easy.
Yeah, spot on. Yeah,
and from a weather point of view, Moose, like I was always a little bit concerned. Like last year, it sounded like the weather conditions were almost as good as you could get in Ballarat, and it was always going to be interesting to see how it would go when there's some wind around. And the fact that there was some wind around yesterday, but it didn't seem to impact the times too much, is a positive sign. I'm guessing, looking at the course, if the wind's coming from the north or the south, it's probably not too bad. It's when it's east or west on those long straights that it's probably going to impact the race one year. Is that right, Moose?
Yeah, I think so. With the lake, it was a pretty bad wind to get for the lake. Normally when you go through the gardens, you just really, like, if the gardens start, I'll just have a quick look at this split. So if you have a headwind, if you have what's that going to be? Like an easterly wind, it's actually not too bad, because you're getting a lot of protection through the gardens. But we kind of on the weekend we kind of had a like a westerly almost. So you had a tailwind through the gardens, and then you copped a headwind once you got out. It was almost like southwest, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's what they
It was
were
more like,
describing it.
it's more
It was the
southerly, I
complete
thought.
opposite to last year. So
Yeah.
last year we had the headwind when we had the garden protection, and then we got to the exposed bit and had a tailwind.
That's right.
Yep.
That's the good way to have it. If you have the headwind, if you have a tailwind through the gardens, that's not what you want because
Yeah,
you're getting
yeah.
the whole rest of the lake is exposed and you get hammered.
Yeah, and it's a stage of the race. Like last year, we turned at the top of that lake at say 37k, and you're like, all right, I'm 37k in a marathon, so I'm pretty tight anyway. And now I've got a tailwind, so it kind of you could just fang it home almost. Whereas yesterday, I was like, I'm cooked at 37k. My pace has left me, and I've run into a headwind.
So I've obviously talked about it a lot to people that have run and to others, but the Ballarat, I don't think anyone will have a crazy great day at Ballarat, like this big outlier awesome day. You can have a good day there, like you did, good day, but you'll never have you won't have a 2:17 day at Ballarat, I don't think. But a lot of people have terrible days there because that back half, unless you're really going well, like you were, Brady, that will eat you up out there because it gets lonely and you get exposed sections, and lonely exposed sections are what hurts when you're in the dark stages of a marathon.
I saw Zach as I went onto the lake on the second lap, and he said, you look so strong, like finish it off. And I was like, I feel strong. This is good. And we rolled a couple like 3:14s, 3:15s, 6k after like getting off that lake. I could not believe how much I was cooked. Like it was like a different human ran in there and ran out of that lake. I was like, how did that happen to me in 20 minutes? I felt like a ghost coming out of the lake there. Like it absolutely cooked me.
That lake is no easy work.
Yeah.
That place, and 6k at the end of a marathon can be the longest 6k of your life, and the lake can make it even worse because you can see around it the whole time. And when you've been there a fair bit, you just know how far it is every corner. I'm like, I was riding with the 2:30 group, or just under 2:28 group it was really. And I'm like, I can't say they're nearly done. I'm not going to say that because I know that they actually haven't even turned into the proper headwind yet, even though there was a fair bit of wind at the time. Like, just watch, just sit behind, watch.
And it's not like just jump on the gutter and run the shortest line either. Like you've got to know your like I feel like you almost got to be a local and know your tangents around there. But then because the half marathon is on the left, you couldn't actually take your tangents at times because that's where the half marathoners were.
Well, there was some terrible running from a few groups that I saw, like got fully running in the middle of the road the whole way around. And there's massive tangents to be taken, like bike lanes to be run in. Like they could have cut so much off that course. And because it was the second lap, like they were fatigued, it was follow the leader sort of stuff. No one was really making the call to go, all right, we're going to slice straight off this corner and then we're going to slice off the next one too. They just followed the leader around the middle of the road, and it was frustrating me watching on the bike. Yeah,
they need the spray paint.
Did pretty well though, Brady. 42.38 on the Garmin.
I was taking the tangents. I'm good on that lake.
Yeah, you've done it enough to know.
Yeah, I was.
Any takeaways from the marathon block? Any now that you've raced it, anything you felt like you were lacking or you would have changed?
I felt like I'm getting better at understanding how you should feel at different stages throughout the marathon. This is probably the most even one I've actually ran, I think. Well, it was 10-second positive split. So
what was last year?
I think, so we were quick. I think we were 69.33 through half last year. And so pretty close. I feel like, I don't the block I think was less mileage, but I've got years and years of Ks behind me. I think there's something in how unfit I was in January. I've always been, I spend the whole year at 90 to 95% fitness, whereas I actually got pretty unfit when I got off the back of Chicago, got COVID. I remember doing 1K reps in 3:20 in January 15th. and now I've just ran 42K at 3:18. Like I think I need to get better at like periodization and actually saying like, all right, get yourself unfit. Don't be afraid to lose fitness, because now you know that you can, and you don't have to run 200K. I don't have to run 200K weeks. I can
Looking
run
at a couple of experts in that at the moment.
periodization. Yeah.
No, losing fitness.
Yeah. Maybe I'm scared because there'll be no content on the show if I also do the same thing.
When's a new coach? When's a new coach start?
Yeah, we'll have to tee all that kind of stuff up, get a phone call going.
Who is it? Do we know?
Yeah, hopefully it's Dan Nash. I want to tee up a call with him and stuff.
Sciencey.
Get some stuff going. Yeah, some science-based stuff. So I don't want to move on too quick though. Like I told Carly today, she's like, "Have you thought about a next marathon?" I'm like, "Nah, let's just live in this one for a week and just." I don't like the what's next question when you're 24 hours post a race. But yeah.
Talk to me more about how you should feel during a marathon.
Well, I actually saw you at 15K and you didn't realize what I said, but I mouthed to you too easy. Too slow. I said too slow because we just ran 2:16:40s. And then I was thinking about it. I'm like, you should feel too slow. Like you should actually feel like you got the brakes on. Whereas I wanted to see 16:25, 16:20, 16:25, like around there. So I think, now you do need to feel too slow. Like there's a reason why there was 8 of us through halfway in that pack and only just me at 30K. Like, because although I'm not good at this event, I feel like I know some of the warning signs now because I've experienced them in the past. And, like some guys you can just tell some people just breathing too hard. Someone was grunting, like even someone, said to someone on the sidelines at 22K that, I think I'm going to have to pull out today. And it's like, that shouldn't be going through your head at 22K. Like I had a rough patch at like 23K, but my mind said get to 25K and reassess. Like that was the deal. It wasn't make a decision there on the spot. And then I remember saying to myself, get to 30K and then you can let the pacer go. And then you're just constantly having these mind battles with yourself, trying to cut deals, like not thinking too far ahead. And just, I think I've got better at that stuff as well.
Yeah, it's good to hear you say the feeling easy stuff, because I think that's like the weekend the weekend showed people don't know what the fuck they're doing in the marathon with the amount of blow ups out there, the carnage all over the course, the pre-race chatter and bragging about the what they're going to do and all this sort of stuff, and then to see what happens on the day, I'm like, you got no idea what you're doing. You're talking a big game, but you actually don't know. And you showed that you know, and that's the sort of thing that that's why you get to a place like Valencia now with that skill set that you've just learnt and developed, and the experience you've got, and I think we get you somewhere fast now, and we see the time sliced down.
Yeah, I think, I agree with you. That's like my goal. Like if I could do what I can do, on a better course, bit flatter, few more people around. Like maybe I'm never going to be that 2:16, 2:17 guy, but I think I can find 30, 45 seconds.
Hey, take that lake out, take the wind out, keep the pack in. Like you don't hit that period at 37 into a fucking 20K an hour headwind.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're seeing home from 32K. And you're not seeing a massive roadblock with this wind, and you're not seeing a pacer run off on you. You're getting to 32K. Sorry.
Motivational chat then. Piers just jumped in.
Sorry. So you're at 32K, and all you're seeing is the easiest 10K ride home with the ability to let your rhythm flow, and you're not going to hit another hill or another hard corner section like there is on Sturt Street. It's just a different mindset. Like you physically, you're in the same spot. Mindset, you're home. Yeah. You're home and hosed, and but you're always worrying about that wind on the second lap. Like it's holding you back, knowing you have to push through it.
Yeah, you look at people's splits, like that took a few souls yesterday.
Yeah.
Took a lot of souls yesterday. And probably started taking souls at 30K because people knew what was coming at 36K, 37K.
Yeah. So everyone knew it was coming, and I think they switch off before they get there, just knowing that that's coming, and they don't want to be there red line. Like the 2:30 group, they were so good together. Like those guys were working so well. There was pump ups within the group. They were all trying to work together. Like that was impressive to watch. They had it. They chopped it out on the front around the lake on the way home. If you had that, things are different.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did have it till like 37K. Like I almost had a personal pacer, which was good. But yeah.
Yeah, one person though.
Yeah,
one
true.
person.
Pretty skinny people too. Not giving you a lot of stuff. But that was good. And just like the older I get, the more like grateful I am that you still get to race and you still get to like. I was saying to Tara Palm afterwards, like, how many times in training do you just be like, you wish you were at 1K to go with a chance to run a PB? Like to be in that scenario is what we train for. And then you're just like, you just gotta, like there's going to be times in 10 years time, boys, when it's like, give us a time machine. Please take us back to when we were running PBs, our running lives.
Already
Like,
there, mate. Don't need well,
maybe because you guys want the time machine now, I'm just like even more grateful. I'm like, shit, I'm still here. So it was good. And yeah, can't emphasize this amount of support on the course. It was wonderful. We can talk about you boys now. Tell us about your week moves because you're getting fit, testing out new shoes, had a training partner for most of the week.
It's good to run with other people for sure. Yeah, I ran on Monday 8K, 40 minutes, just coming off that long run where I was kind of beat, to be honest. I was tired, my hammies were sore. I was just feeling pretty banged up. So at 5:08 pace, that was the pace that I was running. I wasn't running any quicker. I couldn't. And then in the next morning, I thought I'll get on the treadie. I'll do an easier type workout. And when I say easier workout, I mean I stick to the paces and the heart rate, and I do it on the treadmill so it's flat with no hills or no wind. So I warmed up just on the out in the bush, and then came back and did a progressive tempo. Now, I just fully charged my wrist. No, it's not wrist heart rate. It's the optical heart rate. And it was connecting to my watch fine, but it wasn't actually picking up any Bluetooth. So then I went and got my chest strap, and that connected to the laptop. I mean, it's not the laptop's there, but the treadmill console. It connected to that straight away. And so I was getting that data, but I realized that it hadn't connected to my watch. So I don't actually have heart rate data on this. But I went 15 minutes at 160 beats max, then 10 minutes at 165, then 10 minutes at 170. And the 170, I didn't really increase the pace too much to get to these. This was just almost like progressively just getting harder as the run went on. So my heart rate went up without changing the pace too much. I did it in the Evo SL from Adidas, which is like a training shoe, not a racing shoe. And that felt good too, because I was just starting to struggle a bit with some calf stuff, some ankle stuff. So it was good. Just knocked it out and felt like
That's not a workout shoe though, is it? Isn't it like a comparison to the Super Blast?
It's faster than a Super Blast. It's definitely a workout shoe if you want it to be. Yeah.
But do people tend to use it as more of a like tempo, like fast jogging shoe, like a Croco long run shoe?
Yeah. That's what it's sort
355s.
of for.
Perfect.
It felt fine doing this workout.
Need that time machine, Brady. Get back to that.
Need a bit more of that. Yeah, that's what he chooses to go back to, Moose. Don't take me back to any PBs. Don't take me to Lake BY. Just take me to Sunday, the 31st of October, 2017, when he did 32K at 351 average.
Over hills.
Yeah, over hills.
Dropping 320s down the hill to finish at the house.
Last 5K in 16:10.
So that was Tuesday. Wednesday, we had Jordan come down. Jordan and his wife, Nancy. So you've heard Jordan before. He's been on Shoe Geeks. We did an interview with him. He was on the Inside Running podcast, Daily Man on the Ground. What else has he been on for? Anything?
Yeah, he did Road to Valencia with Chriso.
Did he?
And him and Chriso, Valencia last year.
Right.
Do we rotate hosting it?
Yeah,
or did we just give it to those two? Yeah.
Anyway, he's on a big world tour. after moving on from his job. Nancy moved on from hers. So we went for a run in Torquay. I thought I'd take him along the cliffs. It's a decent track, this. We ran 12-ish Ks out and back on the cliff track. It's funny. Switzerland's not a flat place, but I think Jordan spends a lot of time running flat ground, because as soon as we went up a hill, all I hear is like panting like a dog next to me. And then we get to the top of the hill where we turn around, and his arms and legs, he's like, feeling a bit dizzy here. And I thought, I thought you were supposed to be like this European mountain goat, but not the case. The dizziness went away down the hill, funnily enough.
Was it weird meeting like an internet friend in real life?
I've met him before. I've met him in Paris.
Oh, yeah. You've seen him before.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, sort of, though. Sort of. He's pretty active on the group chats, old Jordo. He's got a fair bit of spare time.
Well, I got to meet him in Ballarat because he went there, obviously, and raced. And I feel like he's quieter in real life than the group chat.
Yeah. What do you call that? Keyboard warrior?
Which isn't a bad thing. I'm not calling him a keyboard warrior. I'm saying, like, he's got high energy in the group chats, and in real life, he's got high energy, but not as high. It was lovely to meet him and Nancy.
Yeah, I reckon the passion for running's so strong. He's probably like overpowered a few people in the past with it. And then he's like turned the volume down a little bit on the running stuff. Maybe, I don't know.
People were coming up to him in the street, like, you need your own show. Where are you going to start working at next? Like just recognizing him. It was unbelievable.
There you go.
Straight to Ballarat.
Maybe we need to give him his own show.
He can't legally do one. I've tried to. We legit had it all locked in until we had to start looking at legal contracts.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that was
we snagged him up on the hills.
Thursday, went around town, did town loop. This was a proper hilly run. I made this joke during the run. As I said, I'm going to tell everyone I dropped you on the podcast. There's nothing you can do about it. And he's got back, and he's bloody written the same joke that I made out on the run. He got in first on Strava. This is a good run. Pretty solid out there. Went up some big hills at the end. Workout the next day. Went out to the, Chanel Estate. Got the Puma Fast-R 3 that released the day before, I believe, on the 25th. Ran a workout with Jordan and also with Ben Moynihan, who has been on the show before. I've been mentioned on the show before. I ran with him in Anglesea a few times. He's from New Zealand. He's a good runner. I'm not sure what his PBs are, but he's got a bit of go in him. He's just getting back into his running a bit more, sort of a bit heavy at the moment and not really doing enough Ks, not doing any speed work. Rocked up in a pair of just training shoes. Lasted for, I'm going to say, just before half the workout. So the workout was 2K at half marathon pace, 3 by 1K at 10K, and 6 by 500 at, let's say, 3K. I think it was 3K, with a minute between everything. So I put on these Puma Fast-R 3s, which got a lot of attention from that study they released saying that they tested against other super shoes, and it came out with an average of a 3.5% improvement on the next super shoe. But yeah, there's a lot more to it than that. And it was good to sort of chat to Jordan about it, because we have the same opinion on this stuff. These studies are done in labs with fresh people, only running 5 minutes at a time before they get a rest. You don't really feel the effects of the shoes in other ways. Like, so this shoe for me introduced a lot of calf load. And funnily enough, Jordan had sore calves after the run on the weekend. And I know Charlotte Purdue actually pulled out with calf cramps. I'm not sure if she was wearing this shoe or not. I can't.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't look good, does it?
Can't confirm that.
I'll see if I can find a photo of her on Instagram.
I'm not saying it's a shoe. I'm just saying that.
Right, but it's like people are just going to come to that conclusion.
Well, if 3 people get calf sore, and I'm
more in Charlotte Purdue than you two boys. It's a bit more credibility. 20k at London Marathon pulling out than two blokes going around Chanel Loop on a Friday.
It reminds me of that Rebellion Pro from Mizuno when I pulled out halfway with calf issues. I thought I just need to wear a normal shoe. This ain't one of those normal shoes. It's got this big 4 foot kind of pod, and it's so bouncy. Like I really liked the feel of it, and whether I can condition my calves to handle more running. But anyway, the workout was So what I did was 2K at 320s. Then I did 3 by a K, 311, 39, 310, and then the 500s were 129, 29, 30, 32, 30, 28. And so good workout. It was a fair bit of volume in this. It's like 9.23 K of, and 6 of that's at half marathon pace or quicker. I mean at 10K pace or quicker. So I was happy to get this done, but yeah, I did get a bit of calf soreness afterwards. Then the next day, took off down to Ballarat, got down there about midday, finally got out after doing a bit of stuff at 10 to 3. I wanted to run a few of these old loops that I got. Monday loop, which is the loop that Mona and the group have done, I couldn't even tell you how long, decades worth of Mondays, the same loop. So you run down these alleys and then you run through Vic Park. Instead of doing the full Monday loop, right around the back of the lake, I cut back along the lake for a bit to see some of the 5K. And then I saw the owner of the running company, Ballarat, or one of the owners, Sean, and he showed me the new stores, the fit out. So I sort of spent 15 minutes in the middle of the run just seeing the new running company setups there. Then I ran down along the Yarrawee track, which is this cool little trail along the creek. And then I went into the bush at Narina, which is some of the best running you'll ever find. And then rolled back down through past the old house, down along the other end of the Yarrawee and home. It's pretty hard work getting a long run done on a Saturday afternoon, finishing at bloody 5 p.m. It just doesn't feel that nice. And I'm super hungry because I didn't really eat lunch because I knew I had a long run coming up early arvo. So I had a little bit of food early morning and then did not fuel or hydrate anywhere near as well as I should have. And then once I finished, get back to the house, Airbnb we're at, no food whatsoever. I'm like, fuck, this is bad. And so I got to dinner and sort of hydrated with some beers and a big steak and some garlic bread, and then sort of felt okay. But then went to bed and just had this post-run heart rate thing going on where you're just not relaxed. It's too close to bedtime. So I slept like shit. Woke up Sunday, got out on the bike with Pia, got this electric motorbike thing. We loved it, had a ton of fun out there. It was freezing cold. I didn't have one bit of FOMO, Croaks. It was cold. It was damp. It was a bit windy. I had gloves on, big puffer jacket, waterproof as well, waterproof pants, waterproof shoes on, and I was freezing. It was cold out there. And
as Brady said, it's probably worse for the spectators than it was for runners.
Yeah, but once you get wet, it drizzled a bit, and once you get a wet singlet and wet shorts, you get cold from that, especially when the wind starts hitting you. So
I was like that in Berlin 2017. Remember how it was a bit rainy? And I pulled the pin at halfway, and then I was in my running gear, basically jumping on and off trains to follow Viv around the course. I was freezing.
Yeah. Well, we picked up a mate of mine who canned the run, DNF'd, was standing on the lake, on the path. I just stopped and I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, oh, nah, no good. Yeah, had some issues. I'm like, oh, jump on the back. So he jumps on the back of the bike, got the pegs out, and there's me, Pia, me, him, and I just took him all the way back to the start line. And he was just so lucky because there was no other way of getting back. He was in for at least a 30, 40-minute walk to get back. Cold as. But yeah, and then got around the crew, saw a bunch of people. We're out seeing Bree. She did the half. She ran with a friend, took her through in 129, 150 something, and she was supposed to be 130, so it was pretty much perfect. She was happy and saw a bunch of other runners out on the course.
She done a pacemaking course before, Bree? It's pretty good.
No course, funnily enough.
All right.
Although they did sit in with the 3-hour group. So someone had done the course before and they took advantage of it.
Can I just clarify too? My man did not wear the flag. No flag.
Nah.
I think he wore it for the first 100 metres and threw it in the gutter.
Oh, really?
Said they got a big laugh out of starting the race and seeing the 220 flag in the gutter, like 100, 200 metres into the race. I know that was a question I was getting. Where was the flag?
We skipped over this, but Croaks, where do you stand on the pacemaker getting paid for prize money?
I'm like, if he's not getting paid to do the pacing, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, good question. Good point. So
one or the other.
If he gets paid to do the pacemaking and he hasn't done it because he's taken off from the pace that he was supposed to be on, then he shouldn't get paid for the pacemaking, in my opinion.
But what about, I feel for, this isn't about me because I come fifth, but I don't feel like Dean should be in a race looking behind himself at 37K, seeing me 10 seconds behind, like, yep, I've got him covered, and then being like, shit, what do I do now? I've got to get this other guy covered who I didn't actually think I was racing.
Yeah.
Like, if you've gone out the day before and said, I'm here as part of the race and I'm going to run 2:20.00, and then all of a sudden at 39K, you're racing someone for third place and a couple of $1,000.
But to be fair, Brady, like when we do Gold Coast, like they always give us 30 seconds either side of the halfway split. So let's say they want 72 minutes, 61:30 to 72:30. So you got to say, like, his range of pacing was pretty good. What'd you go through half in? 69:40.
44, yeah.
So
real good.
I don't think you can blast him for poor pacemaking.
Oh, no, I'm not blasting him for the pacemaking. I'm blasting him for racing Dean Menzies for third. His pacing was exceptional. Yeah.
Well, so there's a few questions here. There's a few points of contention. So one of them is that he has left the 220 pace group, which is what he was there for, to run faster himself to get a better time / finish higher in the race. When there was still a participant there to pace. However, we don't know where his employment ended. Whether if the employment ended at 30K, it's fucking game on, Brady. There's no.
Well, generally pacers don't get paid after 35K anyway. Like, well, I've never been paid past 35K.
I'm just going to the technical meeting. It was, this is what I'm doing. I'm running 2:20.00.
I think we need to know the contract to understand if it's acceptable or not. But if it is to 30 or 35, then he can push for home if he wants and take that money. I don't mind that at all.
Then that should have been said. So then Dean Menzies knows he's a competitor after 35K.
Yeah. It probably should get stated in the meeting.
Anyway, I'm fucking sick of talking about paces. I cannot. I am so sick of paces being the main characters. Anyway.
Yep. So. Where were we?
You were saying about e-bike.
Bree had done.
Oh, yeah,
thought you were the Eats deliverer out there.
That's a bit racist.
Why? Just because you're on an e-bike? It doesn't matter what nationality or race you come from. That's the mode of transport.
Zach is always coming out with those borderline quips about me. One day I'll pull him up on it. So no, it was great. We loved it. She had a ball out there cheering people on. I think it's great to get your kids out watching that stuff. Like, it's almost inspiring. Like, all she wants to do is go running now after we get back. And that day that we got back, I had a jog late, took her training wheels off. Croaks, you were inspiring me. Lily riding next to you heaps. I'm like, shit, that'd be all right. That'd be an easy way to get a double in when you're supposed to look after the kid. So I went and bought her a bike the other day, and she rode with it with training wheels for 1 or 2 goes. And then I thought, we better pull them off. Otherwise she'll become a thing. And it's so good how quick she picked it up. Like, it's just almost like she didn't even need teaching or anything. So it was good. It wasn't fast, but got a jog in. So that was 99.9 kilometers for the week. And I actually felt good today. Got out for a run, felt fine. Piss and rain. Back on it. Could be the fittest in the group in 1 week's time. Imagine that. Me being the fittest in the group again. The glory days are back.
I loved seeing a Saturday Arvo long run because you could have easily just ditched that. Can't get my long run done this week. Got nothing coming up. Don't care. When I heard you were out doing your long run, because I'm like, where's Moose? How come he's not watching the Road 5K on the Saturday? Jordo's like, no, he's out doing his longie. And then when I saw the Ballarat loop come up on Strava, I'm just like, oh, it's taking me back to all those early days when you used to recap those long runs. Good energy coming from you, Moose.
You know, I'm running through the forest. I'm thinking, this is the place that made me the runner I was. I'm going up. We're doing Shane's hill course. So for reference, Shane Nankervis, he's great runner. Great runner. He ran 2:12 before 2:12 was 2:12 back when it was awesome. Still awesome, but back then with pedestal type stuff. He had this hill course and I was doing it in the middle of the long run and I'm thinking, this is full on trail running, brutal steepness, technical. How did we used to do tempo runs through this? And I thought, because we were tough motherfuckers. That's how. And that's I think I was also thinking some people this place will break, like the banter we had, the competitiveness within the group, this hard-edged kind of mentality where if you didn't show up, you'd cop shit, you would get made to feel like you were lazy, you're a pussy, this kind of thing. There would be workouts where you would sort of go hammer and tong with each other. All the things that these days people consider maybe not ideal training. However, I look back and think that's actually what made me. And I think if you're the type of personality that can thrive in those environments, then sometimes you just need that old school approach. Like that's what can move your dial rather than bailing out of a session because you might have gone over your threshold already or shit like that. Like in a Sunday where, we probably shouldn't push it, boys. We got a big workout Tuesday. And it's like, fuck that. We're racing back to the car. Like we are racing up this 3-minute hill. And at the top, like this is going to determine who cops shit for the next half an hour of the long run. So you're racing as hard as you can to get to the top of that hill. And yeah, I just look back at those with fond memories. I think they made me who I was as a runner.
He's back, Croaks. Listen to him.
I love how he's on it's okay to flog your long runs.
Croaks.
I mean, go back. So me running my 350s and finishing 320, that's all good now.
Hey, if you came to Ballarat, the problem is I would give you so much shit the first 20K, you'd be off the back sucking your thumb in the car.
Mate, I've got thick skin. Don't worry.
Is that what Ballarat was like? Because I like with Deke and all that out in the forest. Is that how it was back in the day?
I don't know.
Canberra.
I never ran when Deke was around, but yeah, it's the same sort of stuff. Or even the groups I trained with in Sydney, there was still a lot of that just old school. Within the long run, everyone's got their 10 minutes of having shit put on them.
Yeah,
just rotates through.
It's good fun, isn't it? It's good fun. And you got to cop it. You cop your whack and you move on.
Yep. And you just keep filing things away for the next Sunday when it's your turn to have a crack at someone else.
Yeah, you're registering.
Charlotte Purdue was wearing that shoe. All the Puma athletes were.
Yep. Okay.
Which would be Sondre Moen as well. He ran 209. Petros, he was 8th in 206.30. We'll get to London results shortly.
Yep.
If you're listening, the chances are you're gearing up for a race, but how dialed in is your race day nutrition? Precision Fuel and Hydration makes it simple with a free online planner to calculate your carb, sodium and fluid needs for peak performance. Their product, like the 90-gram resealable gel, helps you hit your numbers with ease. That's why legends like 4-time Olympian Lisa Waitman and ultra runner Hayden Hawkes trust them too. Head to the link in the show notes to create your personalised strategy and then use code IR-SPRING2025 for 15% off your first order. Or if you're a Patreon supporter, grab your exclusive 20% off discount code from our member-only episodes. Time to level up your performance. Click the link now. Now back to the episode. Croaks, give us a recap.
All
bit of
right.
sickness, bit of running.
Yeah, week had a bit of everything, just not as much running as I'd like. So Monday, I just jumped on the treadmill, sort of middle of the day, had the stall gift on the iPad. So, it's 50 minutes worth, just at 5-minute Ks. Tuesday, I didn't get a run in. So I doubled up on Wednesday with gym in the morning and then, what was it, 10.5K at 4:29s just after lunch on the Wednesday.
You did
And
a
then
double with Jim, who?
no, so I went to the gym
Oh.
in the morning, and then went for 10.5K before we then sort of headed off for our night in the city and dinner. That was all really enjoyable.
Got
And
the
then,
coupons out?
Yeah, got the
The
coupons out.
vouchers.
We couldn't spend them all actually on dinner. Ate too much food and still had money left.
Oh.
He looked at the menu and Viv said, "I'll have the steak," and Croaks goes, "No, you're not having the steak. You're having the pasta."
No, it was a big voucher. We could have pretty much eaten whatever we wanted.
Do they give you change, or you can only spend it in one sitting?
No, they were happy to give us change, but we just said, "Nah, it's all right. We're
No,
fine."
you didn't.
No, we did. We did. We still had nearly $50 still left on it, and we just said, "No, that we're all good, thanks." So anyway, I'll move on to Thursday. So Thursday, I did an hour out in Mulligan's, 4:28s, listening to the monthly, and I tell you what, first 10 minutes, the phone almost went into one of the dams because the stuff that you were talking about before, Moose, about people just talking a big game days before the marathon, I feel like this was Toby in the whole, because the monthly was a monthly and then it sort of turned into a fortnightly, then a weekly. And this momentum just built off the back of his 67:30 half off not a lot of running. And then all of a sudden, over the course of this month leading up to Ballarat, there's talk about, I'm just going with the lead pack regardless. And on this last episode, it's like, well, yeah, as long as it's not 2:11 pace, I'll go with the lead pack. There's nothing wrong with us going through 67:30, Brady. And I was just like, what? And then, there's talk about potentially running a PB. And I sort of alluded to it a couple of weeks ago and asked you, Moose, I'm like, how do you reckon he's going to go? It seemed like quite ambitious goals for the type of training he's doing. And I like Toby, but I feel like it's sort of double standards. If this was an influencer, we would be calling it out 100%. I just felt there was a lot of stuff, and Brady and Chris O didn't really rein him in, which probably impacted.
I said, come with me.
Brady was pumping this man up for the last 6 weeks, and
I said, come with me in 69 flat. You can still run a PB.
I'm listening. Both of you boys, you were just feeding the beast there. And I'm not sure that worked out well for Tobes.
But even stuff like expecting a PB, and it's like he's run 219 low, which is fairly solid running. He was running way more back then. You are 219 runner, Brady, running 175K a week, and I don't know, I just felt like he didn't respect the marathon, which is surprising because Toby's been in the game a long time, had Moose as a coach, and basically all the stuff that Toby was talking about in this lead up is everything that you're against, Moose.
Yeah, well, we had a chat about it. And probably the one thing that I didn't really like about how Toby was talking was how getting another marathon on the board, even if it's at a more realistic result for him, let's say he ran 2:20, he wouldn't have been happy with, or he wouldn't think that it means anything. But I still think those sort of things mean a lot, actually. And I think as you look back when you're older, those sort of races help you with your running. You get to learn the marathon. You get to get proud of being in certain positions like that. The 2:20, if you're not fit, could be way more harder than the 2:19 when you are fit. These sorts of things. It's not all about smashing a PB every time you race. And so, I disagreed with him on that.
And just say what he said. Toby had a rough day and ran 2:37.
Yeah, he was cooked at.
Some people won't know that result.
He was cooked pretty early, 25K. Yep, that's a lot of kudos for that. Could easily have packed it up, but he finished the race and he respected his opponents like that. And I think he respected the marathon after it beat him. he didn't respect it before, but it beat him down, and then he didn't just crumble. And he actually said, you know what? A lot of people out here having shit days too. And I made my bed and I'm going to lie in it. And so kudos to him for that. But I understand your point big time.
Yeah.
Because I'm in agreement with you on this.
Yeah, I just thought, we're very critical of other people, and it's like Toby is in our inner sanctum, and I feel like he would call the same people out if they were an influencer and they're talking all of this big game off, and he looks at their training. So I know he's got the bad boy image to uphold, but I reckon he'll be hopefully a little bit more humble and just let his running do the talking in future.
Yeah, I think he learned a lot from this run.
Yep.
I think he learned a lot, and he's also very happy just to have got out there be on a start line, because he's been injured for a long time, and I see it day in, day out. Bloke with more talent than any of us, with a body that lets him down. That is a very frustrating place to be.
100%. And look, if I was in his situation where he was absolutely flying and then never got the opportunity to run that 2:13, whatever when he was running at his best,
beat Liam Adams at Run for the Kids.
There was never a marathon around for him to do. And
the COVID
on the way to Valencia.
Yeah, and so it must be really, as I said, really frustrating for him. But yeah, hopefully I haven't offended him too much.
He'll address it on the monthly.
Yeah. So then Friday, actually, because it was Anzac Day, got out with the group for a bit of a light session. So the session that the group were doing was 20-minute tempo, 2-minute jog, and then 5 times minute on, minute float. So we did this around like the sort of 3K road loop at the AIS. So I did this with Elliot, one of the athletes that I coach. And it was an interesting session where it certainly didn't feel easy for me from a heart rate point of view. Like I only averaged, like for the whole session, 152. Was it 152? Yeah, but it certainly didn't feel comfortable. The tempo was at 351s, and then 2-minute jog at 427s, and the 1-minute reps were 330, 325, 321, 315, 312. So it ended up being, I think, 348 average for 32 minutes. Then Saturday I went to the gym. Sunday I had planned to do 20K, but Saturday afternoon we all came down with a tummy bug. So my parents arrived on Tuesday, and they went and hung out with my brother's kids on Wednesday, and they'd had like a gastro bug Easter long weekend. I'm not sure whether they were still I'm not sure, but my parents started basically being sick on Friday. They spent all day in their bedroom just vomiting, and they left at lunchtime on Saturday. Colas went down literally an hour after they left. Lily was an hour after that. Viv was an hour after Lily, and then I was last man standing, but we were rough, like pretty much haven't eaten for a couple, like eating again now, but you just, it's like you lose 1.5 kilos, you're just weak. You start eating food, but then you feel like you're going to throw up again. So yeah, so that was my week of like 50K. Yeah. So not an ideal end of the week.
And recover though. Yeah. Bit
nothing you can do about it. Out of your control totally.
And it was like yesterday, there was so much running stuff going on. So I remember messaging you, Brady, like late Saturday afternoon, saying, mate, I'm going to wish you luck now because I reckon I'm done based on what's the carnage that's happening around me. And then even just like had athletes running, and like I just couldn't follow them on the track because I was just in and out of like sleep, and even trying to like contact them after the race. I'm like, I can't talk. I can't do anything.
Yeah, I was saying to people, Croaks hasn't even congratulated me on my PB. And then you finally sent me a message about
you didn't say it like that. I was sitting next to him, and he looks over and goes, can you believe that fucker hasn't even said well done or anything?
There's a reason. It was grim when all 4 of us are just down for the count.
No, when you did finally log on and congratulate me, I'm like, oh, he must have really been sick. Knocked in for 6. I hope you get better soon, Croaks. Hope you're on the end of it.
That is no good.
Good luck. I'm much rocking
better.
up to work tonight. Patreon supporters, fellas, let's thank some. I'm going to kick things off. Seb Lewis from London. He recently ran 14:33, boys. So he's got some wheels at the Friday night under lights at Battersea Park, 5K. That's quick around there, isn't it? A couple of laps.
Battersea,
I reckon. Battersea
Park.
It's bit GPS friendly too.
Yeah, I'm not going to call it the industrial estate, but I think if people want to go for like fast, impressive sessions, I think Battersea Park's it.
Oh, yeah, but this would be certified, this race.
Well, be certified, yeah.
Yeah, don't go cutting Seb some...
No. I'm
How
not
do you
saying
know
that.
it's certified?
Because it was an official race.
Yeah, but, AV's not certified.
Yeah, okay. UK
Let me find that out.
Yeah, find it out for me. Surely, this is a big series of races.
Well, there you go. There's something the UK Monthly can clarify.
It says flat certified 2-lap course.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. Certified.
Congratulations on your 14:33 certified. Seb, he's also ran 69:33. So I reckon the 5K is a standout. 14:33, 69:33 at the big half. That's a slow course, I reckon. And he also ran 2:23 at the Valencia Marathon. Agree with me, boys? 14:33 is the best one.
Easy.
Thank you, Seb, for your support of the podcast. There will be some UK boys. I was just messaging Aaron Scott before, actually, this week, so you can enjoy some locals talking about running as well. Who are you thanking, Croaks?
I got Gus Boyd, one of Jimmy Friend's best mates. And thanks to Jimmy for giving me some of this info, all this info, actually. So his 5K PB came from Parkrun, 17:52, was paced by Gunther and Jimmy. 10K PB of 37:18 at the Sydney Harbour 10K last year. Half PB of 83 minutes at the Sunny Coast last year, and the marathon PB of 3:03 from last year's Ballarat race. Lives in Double Bay in Sydney and is a partner at OTI Management. So he's a big dog in the horse racing world. Can be found frequenting establishments such as Toddy's, an Italian restaurant in Bondi, and Mr. Wong's, a Cantonese restaurant. And Jimmy, actually, they named their son after Gus. So
interesting.
Have you met him? Reece?
Yeah. So after Sydney Marathon that year that we did it, Brady, you paced it. Went to Angus used to live in I think it was his boss's joint in Bondi, and it overlooked the Bondi beach, like it was second story up. The veranda, I was sitting out there, and you can just see the whole beach. You're pretty much opposite Icebergs, I think it's called, that restaurant. Epic place.
So he's a big player, Gus.
Yeah, well, he gets around the races, sells race horses, all that sort of shit. I don't know how it is. Don't know how he lives with himself in that industry, but he makes
Thanks,
enough
Gus.
money.
Good on you, Gus. Who you thanking, Moose?
Got Cody Spangler from WA. According to Strava, his best 5K is 21:44, which came at the end of a triathlon. Oh, Croaks. You vetting this?
Don't know. I'm just going off Strava.
Ran 47 minutes at the 2023 Fremantle 10K and 4:04 at the 2023 Perth Marathon. He's competed in the Ironman WA. I'm pretty sure he works for Rio Tinto as a heavy mobile equipment engineer. Oh, he would be loaded. That bloke's got 3 jet skis, 1 big Commodore SS sitting in the driveway.
He's got a Ram truck as well, Moose, a big Ram. 10 days on, 10 days off.
Talk about some income there for Cody. He'd have all the super shoes. Good man for me to get to know, I reckon, Cody.
Couple of sleeve tattoos, I reckon, too. Be well inked up. Going really stereotype here, fellas. Thank you to all our Patreon supporters. Cody, I hope we haven't offended you in any way there. If you like what we do on the Inside Running podcast, a month's worth of content, if you think it's worth $5, it brings that kind of value. You can help us keep the lights on at the show at patreon.com/Inside Running podcast. If you want bonus content, there's a whole stack of bonus episodes that get uploaded to that feed as well. We also get the show every Monday night, the uncut version, before all the ads and stuff get cut in there, and occasionally things have to get cut out. So if that's what you like, you can find all the details at that website. Let's go to Running News, boys, and we're going to go to Boston Marathon first with thanks to Axel Coffee, our race results partner, and the secret to starting every run on the right foot. Nothing beats a good coffee before hitting the pavement. Croaks, Boston Marathon Monday, Patriots Day over there. 10 a.m. start too. They start late, don't they?
I'm not sure. I guess
good weather for once.
Starting late makes sense, given they have to. A lot of people have to jump on buses to get
on the
shipped
big
out
yellow
to the start.
buses out to the start line.
Feels like a long time ago. What was that?
Yeah, I know it too. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah,
people run Boston and be shaking their head.
You look it up while I go through what happened.
Okay.
So John Career got the win in 2:04:45 after falling at the start. beat Alphonse Felix Simbu 2:05.04. Career said he would donate the prize money from his Boston victory to the Transcend Talent Academy, which provides an education for aspiring runners who cannot afford one. So I thought that was pretty cool. And that comes off the back of his brother Wesley, who won the race in 2012, used the prize money to build a hospital in their home region. Conor Mantz, he was the first US athlete, finishing fourth overall in 2:05.08. Aussie Pat Tiernan was very prominent in the first 30K. He was in the front pack, pretty much on the front. Ended up 11th in 2:08.08 after going through half in 61.53. He was also wearing those new Puma shoes, and I saw a photo. Actually, I think Jordo might have put it in the group chat, and it looked like the shoes, it was just blood because they were all white shoe, and the front of them were just red.
Yeah.
So did you see that photo, Moose?
Saw the photo, yeah. I'm not sure if it played a part. A lot of the time you can have that but not really feel it.
Yeah.
Like it could just be the tiniest little nick that you don't even know about but just sort of has an ongoing bleed. And, once you start getting wet in the shoe. Yeah, but that's good from Paddy Tiernan, 2:08. Like another one under 2:10. Like we've seen a few lately, and it's pretty cool just to get the regular sub 2:10s from the Aussie guys again.
Yeah. I reckon he's still got a lot of room to improve, Pat. I feel like what he's done on the shorter stuff, he's just got that extra element of speed and So I wouldn't be surprised if he does run like a 2:06 soon. In the women's race, Sharon Leketti, she ran 2:17.22, which was a course record by just over 2.5 minutes, and she beat Helen O'Beary 2:17.41.
It's a big win for her. She's proved she's good at New York and stuff before as well. So, but taking down O'Beary.
And she's in Under Armour shoes, I believe.
Yeah, she was. Hopkinton is where it starts as well. The race spot there. Conor Mantz, Clayton was good too. Clayton Young. He was a couple of spots behind him, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A little bit worried about him off his YouTube stuff. Good on you, Croaks. Ballarat, these are the actual people that were top 3 years. So Reece Edwards, our man. I think he's on with you, actually rode to Ballarat this week, Moose, the winners.
Tomorrow night, him and Kate, apparently.
Okay, cool. I said to him in the room beforehand, I'm like, you going with these boys? And he just shook his head. He said, I'm not getting caught up in anyone telling me on Strava that they're going through or Instagram, going through quick. He goes, I'm just doing my own thing. And he did. And I don't know when he hit the front, maybe 25, 24K, somewhere around there. Moose, you might know more than me because I was 3 minutes behind him.
I think he caught him at about 15K or so.
Oh, really? That early?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He wasn't actually that far in front of him at 30K then. So they might have stuck together for a while.
No, I think, I'm not sure exactly.
Yep, just on that out and back out there. Reece Edwards, he got the win, 2:16.56. Fraser Daarcy, big PB from him. I've been talking about him a bit because he ran I reckon, 3:47 on the track this summer gone, and he's a strong runner. So then when I knew he had this speed now, maybe 14:10 or something for 5K over summer, this doesn't surprise me that he's come out and ran 2:18.36. He would have done that off a big negative split. So he would have went through 10 seconds in front of us, maybe like 69.30. Dean Menzies was third. He just dipped under 2:19 in 2:18.59. Kate Mason got the win in the women's, 2:33.55. Danette Sheehan was second, 2:36.15. Sarah Short was third in 2:40.59. Do you know if that's the way it was the whole race, Moose? Anyone changing positions, or it was pretty much that's how they were set up?
At the very front, it wasn't a lot of change up the very front. Just obviously a couple of guys like Caleb Blaker pulled out very early.
Oh, no, sorry, the women.
Oh, the women. Sorry, the women.
Yeah.
No, it's a little more difficult following the women because they're mixed in with gents and in packs, and so you kind of it's not as obvious. Say like when Reece comes through by himself, it's obvious, and then Fraser was by himself for such a long time. Dean was by himself, just coming in as once-offs. But then you get bunches of people coming through, and you've really got to look for the ladies in there. Kate obviously had a bike around her, which helped. Credible run from her, I thought. Like when I said no one had outlandishly good runs, that's she's starting to run some times that should start scaring some people, I think.
PB?
Surely it's a PB. 2:33.55. Like,
just opening up her profile now, which I still think wouldn't have this updated there. But yeah, it's a good run. Marathon PB was that's from yesterday, 2:33.55. Let me see if I can find this in progression here. She trains down at like Mornington and stuff, doesn't she?
yeah, with
She's down there.
Dane Verway. I think
and like mattress and that.
Yeah. Does Dane coach her?
Not 100% sure. I'm
I
looking forward to learning more about her on the show, actually.
Yeah, well, we'll ask all these questions.
Yeah.
I actually, like, honestly haven't really heard of the next two ladies before, Danette and Sarah, I think.
Yeah, so Danette was, we spoke about her. She was a really good NCAA athlete, I think it was. And then she basically stopped running for a long time, had kids, and has got back into it.
Okay.
So she's moved over here. I think she's run crew.
That's right. I do remember talking about her now. And Sarah, I think she was on a Run Strong athlete at some point, but I'm not sure where she trains now. But yeah, solid. They're getting some good athletes down there.
Hey, it's been around this mark for, so she ran 2:35.15 at Osaka in 2023, then 2:34.08 at Melbourne last year.
Okay.
So she's run like a 13-second PB?
Yeah.
12 seconds, somewhere around there.
I think that's pretty good at Ballarat.
Yeah, keep telling me that kind of stuff, Moose.
Keep
telling me how slow the course is at Ballarat. Half marathon Olympian, previous Australian record holder. Does this grate your gears too, boys? So in one of the posts it said Australia's fastest ever 1,500 meter runner, or Ryan Gregson will be running the half marathon, and I'm like, that annoys me. Like, and then he reshared it, and I'm like, you don't have that title anymore. I'm like, I'd feel a bit awkward. Like, the race shouldn't do that. They should get that right.
You'd never, yeah.
And then you don't reshare it if they've stuffed it up, because then it makes you look a bit bad. He might not have even read it, but I'm like, yeah, one of the previous Australian record holder, he got the win, 64.18. Jacob Cox was second, 64.44. Got married on the Friday. Come over to Ballarat to come second in the half marathon on the Sunday. That's dedication to your running.
Drag his wife over? She wants to go on a honeymoon. He wants to go run a half marathon in Ballarat.
Tom Bowers was third.
Go in the Maldives or something. Fiji.
65. Maybe he was getting some prize money to go do that. Tom Bowers third. This is a good run. 65.33. Tara Palm won the women's. 73.21. Ella Higgins was second. 75.12. Sarah Klein third. 75.48. The 10K, Adrian Potter got the win there. 30.09. Harrison Bagley. A few South Australians here. 30.35. Braden Noonan was third. 30.37. Isobel Hume, she won that Nike women's fun run the week before. She won this, 34.21. Melissa Duncan second, 34.42. Steph Condogalis was third in 36.56. 5K and mile were on the Saturday night. I like this because you don't really have much to do the day before a marathon. Apart from these races were spaced out way too much. Like, I think there was they had mass participation races in between. You kind of had to be there for about 2 hours if you wanted to watch it all. So I watched the 5Ks and then went back to our hotel because I didn't want to be standing up for too long. But I did see Izzy Batt-Doyle get the win in the women's, 15.24. Taylor Werner was second, 15.51. Stephanie Kelly was third, 16.30. Jack Bruce won the men's in 14.06. Johannes Asmir Dangal, who I think is from Ethiopia, was second in 14.14. And Matt Buckle from Bendigo was third in 14.31. And then the Australian Mile Championships, Jude Thomas got the win there, 4:01.3. Jack Anstey second, 4:01.5. Cal Davies third, 4:03.4. Jaylah Hancock-Cameron, we're calling this an upset, beat Lauren Ryan in the women's, 4:38.2 to 4:39.6. I guess maybe miles a bit short for Lauren.
Yeah,
but this is a big win for Jaylah to win an Australian title. Always got to compete with, the Jess Hulls, the Lyndon Halls, the Sarah Billingses, the Katrina Bissett's, the Bendiria Boyers. Like, she's often running very well, but she's coming fifth. So I'm kind of stoked.
Ran low 2 minutes for 800 this season. So, she's there or thereabouts.
I know, but she doesn't get to win many races. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah, so good to see her win an Australian championship. Taylor Werner then backed up. So after that 5K to come third in 4:42.2. That was Ballarat Marathon. Take me to London last night, Moose. One of the biggest marathons that happened in the world.
Yeah, good fields too. Pretty good
Amazing.
watching. Quite different races, how they sort of played out. The ladies went off first, women's only race, so no male paces, and it went out pretty hot. There was 4 of them. Tiggs de Sefa, Joycelyn Jep Kosgei, Safan Hassan. I think there was one more, and then there was a pacer as well.
2 paces they had off the front.
Oh, was there 2? Yeah, okay.
One lasted longer than the other one, though.
Yeah, and Hassan dropped early. I'm going to say she dropped and came back twice, and then she dropped for good before halfway. I'm going to say maybe like 16K or something. But the girls went through in 66:40, I believe it was. 66:40, I think that was the split off the top of my head. And they've got a pacemaker there. Now, I thought that was super impressive that they've gone and found a lady that can pace these girls through in 66:40. That's incredible, really, because she kept going to maybe like 24K. And then Tiggs Sefer and Jopes Kosgei, they just went side by side, just starting to sort of hammer into each other. There was no sitting behind. There was no foxing. It was like one's they're just lined up side by side and they're running shoulder to shoulder. And eventually Tiggs drops the hammer. I think she ran a mile that was like significantly faster than the rest of them, just to put Jep Kosgei in the box. And she ended up putting Jep Kosgei came in to the finish. This wasn't close. Jep Kosgei blew up hard and she was jogging around the corner that like coming into is it Buckingham Palace there where they run at the front? Yeah. And she was in some proper hurt. And Safana Sun was only 16 seconds behind her at the end. But the winner, Tiggs de Sefer, she ran a women's only world record, 2:15.50. She was the silver medalist from the Olympics. So she really got one back there on Safana Sun. Did not leave anything to any type of sprint this time round. She pretty much just ground them out. Elish McCoglin, she was 2:24.25 on debut. She went out fairly fast as well. I'm not sure what she went through 5-10K in, but I'm going to say that was a blow up on her end.
We've just got the top 30 here of the men and the women, and I know we'll get to the men, but how many women do you think broke 2:30? Like we've just talked about Kate Mason, someone we don't know a lot about, running 2:33 in Ballarat.
Yeah, I would say 12.
Yeah, 10. 10th place was 2:29.30.
Yeah,
they come out with these massive lists of, look at all the elite athletes we got, yada, yada, yada. A few pull out beforehand. They'd have to be pissed off with that.
Yeah. But that's one of the things with London is it seems like that next level down are going elsewhere now. So the person that, let's say the female that runs 2:25, they can go to Valencia and have a much better chance of running 2:22 rather than run 2:25 and be solo for a lot of it and suffer some heat. Like it got warm out there. It's not the fastest course in the world. I think there's a little bit of a hoax about that, about London being a really fast place. So I think there's attraction for that next step down to go to these super courses, we'll call them. Like the,
do you reckon they run out of cash too? Like when you're bringing in the big headliners, the budget for the 20th girl.
Yeah, well, I don't think the 20th girls expects to get money, really.
Well, not the, I don't know, maybe some, actually, yeah, maybe not the 20th, maybe the 10th, 15th.
Perhaps. But yeah, so, and in the males, like, same sort of thing, I reckon. Now we have athletes like Andy who are good enough to be there in that second, third pack because he's run 2:6 before. But it's the 2:9, 2:14. They're the crew that are going elsewhere now, I reckon. That's why they didn't have that. What was it, like 7 athletes under? No,
they had 13 under 2:10.
13 under 2:10, yeah.
Not a lot.
Not a lot, no.
You look up Valencia, how many run under 2:10?
Yeah. Probably like 80.
Croaks, open up Google for us.
Anyway, the
Tell
men's
us about
race.
time tables.
Yeah, the men's race. So Sebastian Sawi, who ran the fastest outside Kipton, wasn't it? The second fastest marathon on debut. He
won
ran
Valencia last year.
Yes, in his debut, ran 2:02:27, and he beat Jacob Kalimo, the world half marathon record holder, and he holds that in 56 something or other, 44 seconds in front of the next person, who was debuting here, 2:03:37, and Alexander Mutiso Munyao ran 2:04:20 in a sprint finish with another fella who won last year, I think.
That was Nagui, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it Nagui?
Yeah.
National record for the Netherlands too.
Oh, he didn't win last year then.
Nah.
So the Sebastian Sawi dropped a 13:56 from K30 to 35 instead of taking a drink like everyone else in the group. Keeping in mind, the group has Jacob Kiplimo, Tola, who's the Olympic champion. It had
Kipchoge was still there.
Kipchoge was dropped then, I reckon. Kipchoge was off the back.
I reckon he was still in touch.
Maybe, yeah. But all these other guys that are incredible athletes, he absolutely dumps them on their ass, and he does not look around. He skips the drink station, skips the next one. So he puts like 44 seconds, I think, into the athletes in 5K. So didn't really look like he was sweating. I was trying to get a real close up of his face just to see if I could see any sort of distress or hurt. And it didn't come through that 5K. It did come through the next 5K where he started to slow down a little bit. But by that stage, the race was won. Thought it reminded me of Kipton when he did the same thing at London in his debut 2 years ago when he ran that big negative split when he just absolutely dropped them. But that was a bit earlier on.
That wasn't his debut though, was it?
Oh, was it?
Debuted at Valencia, I think. But yeah, he absolutely murdered everyone. Like he was going through roundabouts at looked like 25k an hour. Like it should be going sideways. That was insane seeing him put in that surge that day.
I kind of got feelings of that from watching Sawi run off, and I thought maybe this is our new Kipton. Yeah. Don't let him drive. Incredible. Don't let him drive.
Kipton kept going though, whereas it's actually good to see this guy. I think he slowed to like a 14:45 or something.
Yeah.
So
Kipchoge did hold on fairly well to finish in sixth position, I think it was, and he ran 2:05:25. Andy Buchanan, he was on a pace group led by Brett Robinson, and in the group was Phil Sessamon and Sondre Moen and Mohammed. And what did they go through in halfway? Do we know?
Or was it 63:45?
Yeah, so pretty hot stuff there. Yeah. So, well, it's not that hot when you consider it. Like what we were sort of.
That's not too hot for Andy.
You wouldn't.
Slower than PB pace.
That's right.
Slightly downhill as well at the start.
Yeah, so he is maybe going 63:45, 65 something to run 2:09:11. So another sub 2:10 race for Andy. He finished in 11th. That's I guess not something he probably wanted, but I mean he's running under 2:10 again. It's hard not to just get excited by that, and that the guy's out there peppering sub 2:10 pretty much every time he races now.
This would be the first time it's just been such a smooth progression for him. Like it's like take 2 minutes off, get a call up for the Olympics, go to the Commonwealth Games, break the Australian record. So now this one would be a bit more I don't know how happy he'll be with it, but
still good.
Coming 11th in the World Marathon, and that will be annoying him as well, I reckon, because I reckon probably top 10s, you get paid, you might get some points. I don't know, like being top 10 sounds a whole lot better than being 11th.
Yeah, true. Other notable results here, Alex Yee, the triathlete, he finished in 14th to 11:08. Who is Smith?
Jake
Oh,
Smith.
Jake Smith. Yep. Okay. He was 16th, 2:11:58. Yes. I guess another notable one, and I'll pay some kudos where I've never really paid kudos before, is Ned Brockman running 2:30:06, I think he ran. So Ned Brockman makes his money from doing mainstream media attention-grabbing challenges, like I'm going to run across Australia, I'm going to do this 100-mile race, so I'm going to do a record for the longest in 10 days or whatever. I find it really, I'm really impressed that he's gone out there and thought, no, I'm trying to get faster this time around. Instead of trying to go longer or further or whatever, like I'm going to actually pay some credit to the running community here, and I'm going to go and get faster and have a real crack at improving my time. And the mainstream media are not going to care about it. This was a lose only situation for Brockman. Like he runs 2:30. A few in the running community like us go, fuck yeah, good on you. That's really good. Like impressed with that. You have chopped half of our training group's PBs here. They're going to hate that, but you've gone and done this, and you haven't asked the media.
6 minutes in a Mendo.
Yeah, there's no fucking big doco on it or anything like that. You've just gone out there and just done what runners have done since the bloody 1960s and thought, I'm going to try and improve my marathon time as best I can. And the media's not chasing you, and you're not getting paid, and you could have gone and done some bullshit charity stunt, but you didn't. You did this, and I thought a lot of credit there for him, and I'm impressed with how good of a runner he is.
Yeah.
Oh, so am I. I had like heaps of my footy mates were sending me screenshots of his Strava when he's like, he must have been doing workouts and saying it was marathon pace. And I worked it out. It was like 2:28 pace. I'm like, boys, he ain't running 2:28. I'm giving you the hot tip. I said, what I'll do, add 2 minutes, make it 2:30. If he runs under it, you give me a slab. Runs over it, I'll give you a slab. Thinking I was going to win like 10 slabs last night. He ran 2:30:06.
Yeah.
Imagine how much I was panicking on the tracker last night. Or 2:30, yeah. 2:30:06, yeah. I was absolutely shitting bricks when I saw the 40K split come through. So I'm eating my hat as well. I thought he would never do this stuff because it would show him running 2:45, 2:50, and you're like, yeah, see, not actually that good of a runner, but good at the marketing and publicity of it, and can stay out there for a long time, which takes a different skill. But now I'm like, shit, this guy could run 2:23, 2:22.
Easy. The bloke's
With some
trained like a
training?
professional athlete for this
Is he?
race.
Yeah, I
Don't
don't know.
remember. Don't
Is
forget
this the
that.
first time he's trained though?
Yeah, well, I'm not. Don't say. You're going to do a lot of people in between 2:23 and 2:30 have just.
There's got to be still some meat on the bone, though, doesn't there?
Maybe a
I
little.
I think he can run faster, but it also shows that he obviously does have some talent compared to, say, some of the other people like we spoke about last week. These record attempts where somebody's running 420K in 10 days.
Absolutely.
And they're thinking that they're going to run 1,600. Like he actually has some genuine ability.
And while we're on the topic of eating hats, I'll also eat my hat because I was quite vocal saying that the pacemaker Steve McKinnon, after his episode, would not run 2:20 at the Ballarat Marathon. I thought that there was no chance. And he's gone out, and he did run a 42.2 run on his Strava, which is not a running race, but he did that, and I thought that doesn't mean anything to me. I said, go and do it in an event where you got a chip on, and I want to be able to look your results up, and I can do that now. And kudos to him for getting out there and doing it. And another one that I'll agree that I'm wrong on.
Yeah, eat your hat there too. Bit of hat eating tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a good athlete, that bloke. So is Ned. That's what we learned the last couple of days. What else?
Diamond League. We got some track stuff to talk about.
Do you want to have a? Do you want to go on an intermission for 10 minutes? Let me get a drink or something.
You go get a drink while he talks about Diamond League. Because I actually want to finish this show so I can go to bed.
All right,
you just go have a break, Moose. Me and Craig will talk about this for a couple of minutes. Go fill your cup up.
Diamond League season kicked off in China. Women's 5K, Beatrice Chebet got the win, 14:27, beating Segai, 14:28. Halen was third, 14:28. Rose Davies finished 9th overall, but 14:40.83, which takes a little bit of time off her national record. Morty Skyring was 14th in 14:55, which was a PB for her, and moves her to number 6 all-time Aussie. Georgia Griffith was 16th in 15:17, so she probably wouldn't be super stoked with that one. Women's, anything you want to say about that? Obviously, Rose, pretty incredible given she was injured not that long ago. So I think Nationals was pretty much sort of the start of her season. So it's,
she ran Maury Plant the 3K.
Okay, yeah. So Maury Plant, Nationals, and then this. So
might be the best thing that happened to her, Croaks.
Yeah, potentially.
Know what I mean? Maybe don't try peak twice. Just get fit now, and getting fit now is still a long time until the World Champs in September. But a bit of unplanned time off might have been a good thing for Rose.
Yeah, I agree, and also a good run from Morty as well.
She good to see her in Diamond Leagues.
Yeah. We had a 1,000 metre race for the women. Faith Kipyegon, she got the win, 2:29.21. Abby Caldwell was second, 2:32.94, which broke Georgia Griffith's national record of 2:34.5. And Sarah Billings ran 2:33.45 to go under the old record as well. Carly Thomas was 6th, 2:35, and Bandiria Boyer was 9th in 2:41. So not sure what's going on with Bandiri. I think I heard somewhere she got maybe COVID before Nationals. But obviously she wouldn't be happy with that one. Other bit of news regarding Faith Kipyegon. Did you see she's announced that she's going to have a crack at the sub 4-minute mile in June in Paris? I don't know what you boys think about this, but unless they're bringing out some crazy new super shoes, I really don't think this is that realistic. So she's run 4:07, I think, for the mile.
4:07, 0.64.
Yep. And her 1,500 PB is 3:49. Now, I think most people say the 1,500 meter conversion, it's about a 3:42 1,500 is the equivalent of a 4-minute mile. 7 seconds in a 1,500 is a substantial amount of time, especially when you're 31, you've been at the top of the sport for that long, to just go and take 7 seconds off it. I just can't see it happening.
Yeah, it's a 1.5 seconds a lap, basically. And that'll still have her short, from her current PB. It's hard. There's got to be some sort of improvements in something. And we've seen a lot lately. Pacemaking, chances are she's been at the front running a 4:07 mile. It's a world record. So she's never had anyone in front of her the full way. We can pay that. Let's say that's half a second a lap, right?
All right. And they are going to have male pacemakers for this.
Okay, yep. So there's 2 seconds a lap, right? Now let's say there's a whole pack of pacemakers in front of it. Well, whole pack will make a difference rather than just one. The pace lights might help just to show where they are. It gives her a little bit of a visual cue.
She's already had the pace lights, though, I'd imagine, for a lot of these races.
I haven't seen any spikes coming out. Normally Nike release track and field product, the big updates right before the Olympics. So I think we'll probably see that in LA 2028. We'll see a big updates there. Nutrition, we've got the bicarb stuff for the 1,500. It seems to be playing a big part. I don't think anyone's not taking it in the up at that level anymore. Maybe a couple of people aren't, but most of them are, and they sort of seem to be given significant improvements.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah. I'm assuming that she would have been using bicarb already. It's been around for a while for the top tier athletes, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
But I just know from my own point of view, when I was competing in 1,500 meters, how hard it is to take 1-2 seconds off. It's a big jump.
Yeah.
And let alone somebody who's already been at the pinnacle for so long.
That's right. It's not like she's on.
Yeah, she's not on a Cam Myers breakthrough where he went from 3:42 1,500 to 3:33 in the space of 6 months. It's different.
What she just ran for that K is what she needs to run for the mile.
Well, she have to run faster than that, because that's basically 3:45 1,500 meter pace, because she ran 2:29 high, was it? So she's basically run 60-second laps. She needs to run
229.2.
She needs to run faster than that.
Got the extra, bit in there.
Oh, yeah, the extra bit. Yeah.
Extra 9 meters.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, watch this space.
Nike, they're like, I was listening to like an investing podcast the other day, and they were talking about like Nike stock price. Is this why they're getting it up, Moose? Will this help?
No, but what Nike
New
have
CEO,
to be,
isn't there?
they have to. It's not
Sales
just this,
down.
but it's the they have to be seen as innovators and leaders. So what Nike have to do, like that's been their strength forever. They have to get back into innovating, pushing barriers, leading with product, being the first brand to do things. And that's where a lot of these different things will come out as a part of that, like campaign or strategy.
You just worry though that the sport, like, there's already so much skepticism around certain people running times, and then to just come out and say, yeah, I plan on taking 7 seconds off my 1500 meter PB in a few months' time. It's like, if she does it, I think there's still going to be a fair bit of skepticism around.
Seeing more of this though, aren't we? Like even like ASICS are taking all their athletes to Japan this weekend for like exhibition races. Like this is all just based around faith, but I think we see more and more of this stuff to try to grab attention from the brands.
All right, so we've got a couple of local fun runs to finish off. So we had the Fitness 5 down in Wollongong on the weekend. Josh Phillips, he got the win in 14:22. Sean Harris was second, 14:26. Stefan Music, 14:28. In the women's, Leanne Pompiani got the win, 15:48. Paige Campbell, second, 16:23. And Kate Spencer, third in 16:34. So a lot of big names out on the roads over the weekend.
Yeah, it's good to see,
good
isn't
money
it?
there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some really good money there. So another good event. It's a couple of years in now too, aren't they, Croaks? Wasn't it an event from years ago and now they got it back going?
Fitness 5 was around for a long time, and then it sort of ceased to exist. And then I'd say that that crew in Wollongong who were really passionate about the sport have sort of got it up and going again.
Good blokes up there.
Yeah.
Run the Tan, Moose.
Yep. So Run the Tan was on, competing with a bit else going on, especially Ballarat, I think.
Doubles up. A few athletes doubled up here. Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah,
cash money.
You'll notice some names. So the winner of the ladies was Lyndon Hall. She ran 11:35, and she won considerably easily to beat Lauren Ryan 11:48. Taylor Werner was third, 12:01. In the men's, Jack Bruce, not such an easy win, 10:23:06, which is seventh all time. Callum Davies second, 10:23:37, and Ed Marks was third in 10:24. So a close race on the men's side. There were para results as well, and I think some really good times in here. So Michael Roger ran 10:56. Jared Clifford, not far behind, 11:05, and Reece Langdon, 11:43. And in the ladies, Annabelle Coleman, 13:28. Georgia Pounding, 14:26. There was no third.
Different race too, isn't it, for the paras?
Yeah,
that might have been a bit more tactical. Like if those boys were in the open race, they might have went quicker again.
Oh, 10:56 is fucking flying. That is a very good run.
Yeah, but 10:24, like those boys, I don't know. I haven't looked at the full results of who was around, 10:35, 10:40, but I reckon it'd be similar people to Rogers.
Or 10.
Even Clifford would have been running for cash.
I don't know. I reckon Roger
win the race.
No, I reckon that is I don't reckon they would go much faster than that at any given time. 10:56 is moving. You never broke an 11.
No, nowhere near it. I was like 11:17 or something.
Exactly. So how are you saying that 10:56?
Michael Roger's a way better runner than me. He should be way.
What's his 5K PB?
It's in the 13s.
13:50 high.
13:50 something, maybe 50 low.
Oh yeah, maybe it's only 20 seconds difference. Mine was illegally attained though because I wore extra cents. World Road Running Championships have been cancelled, boys. I meant to go San Diego in America. They said we're not doing it. No one else has picked it up. This is a massive stuff up because there's a massive run and boom and every road race in the world sells out. And now our actual World Road Running Championships aren't going to go ahead. So it makes sense of that. Those results are brought to you by Axel Coffee. Don't forget, Inside Running Podcast listeners get 20% off their first online order with the code IRP20. Start your day right with Axel Coffee. No whispers from me, Moose. You're going to go on the loose about anything, though?
Oh, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things from this weekend. Must be being back in Ballarat just brought out a lot of things. A lot of videographers out there on course. A lot of people.
So many, weren't there?
You see that? Like, it's almost like everyone had their own personal videographer. We're on
What about the guy on the
skateboards and
electric
bikes.
skateboards? Yeah,
Yeah,
electric skateboards.
that's magic. He comes down. He shot our store video, but he's good on the skateboard. He's got a bit of control.
And a lot of them were certified too. Like they all had a lot of them seemed to have certification to be on the course in their yellow vests.
Yeah, they are. It's good. So like I'm halfway stuck between like thinking this is great storytelling for the sport. I mean, we're just building it, whatever. And then then the other old school part of me is thinking, just fucking get on with it. Just go and run the race. Like, why we need to like make a documentary every time we go and run a race? Can't we just train for a race? Not tell everyone about every single run we've gone or what we're eating for breakfast and what clothes we're wearing and what all this other stuff. Can't we just go race the race?
The morning coffee shot.
Yeah. So that's part. And then at the other one, I'm like, actually, this is really good for our sport. My head tells me this is great. This is good stuff. And my heart thinks, why can't we just go back where running was uncool again? And it was done by a bunch of like odd misfits. And we would all be little nerds on a Sunday going for a run and we're uncool and everyone made fun of us and threw fucking bottles at us out the window. Like that's the running I want to go back to.
They make it look so good though. Like I watched that road mile and then the road 5K, and then back in the hotel 2 hours later there was like a hype video from north south. Those guys do an amazing job, and I showed it to Carly. I'm like, this is where we just were. She's like, bullshit. Like it was a great event, but it looked 10 times better on that reel than it actually was. Like the music in the background, the clean shots, everyone was all of a sudden had a filter on and make it look more tanned. Look, if you're like a Jen Gregson watching that of Izzy Batt-Doyle win that race, you're going, I want to be at that event next year. Look how fucking sick it looks. And that's social media in a nutshell, isn't it? Everything looks 10 times better than it actually is, and you're only getting the highlights. And yeah.
So no, it's not a bad thing, but there's just something deep down in me that doesn't. I just don't get it.
They share a lot though, their social media. Like there was a lot of interviews with people crossing the line. Like stuff got lost on me. Like something popped up today. It's like Grace Tame getting interviewed at the end. I'm like, oh, I didn't see this yesterday. Like there was a lot of Sam Toll was on the mic for a lot of it. I reckon their policy is like you tag us in a post, we reshare it as well. That's how I just bang. Like there's a lot of stuff going on.
Well, there was actually something that semi-annoyed me the other day from the race, sharing a post from a brand that was a direct competitor or one of the sponsors, and a smaller sponsor, like one of our friends, we'll call them, One Running. So, and I thought, oh, these guys have supported your event. I don't think it's good form to go promoting your competitors who haven't offered anything for this event. Like, I think you've got to be a little careful there just to look after the people that have supported you when you're a small race. Like, and maybe, yeah.
And that'd be a part of growing too. It's just like, well, who manages that? What
exactly,
things, guidelines? Yeah. Maybe they don't have any guidelines in place, and it's like, shit, we need to tighten up on that.
Yeah, I'd say that could be it.
Bring it home, Croaks. Listener question.
All right, this episode's listener question is proudly brought to you by Precision Fuel and Hydration, and the question comes from It's Matthew Davies on Instagram. Mono was faster than most now. Why does nobody train that way?
Well,
you take it, Moose, because you've had chats with Mono.
I've trained that way. We've all trained that way.
You've had debates, haven't you?
We've done a lot of chatting about it, and you kind of got to look at how Mono trained, and then we can discuss it probably a little bit more intricately. So Mono trained using a high mileage system, and what he considered the most important element of his training was that he was running a lot. And because he was running a lot, he felt like he needed his workouts to be sharper. So he was doing 20-minute fartleks on a Tuesday night, and he was doing maybe 400-meter intervals on a Thursday. And then on Saturday, he would do either cross-country races or he would do a hill course which is similar to a cross-country race. And then he would do a long run and a very long run on Sunday, and he would run twice a day every day. So he was doing a lot of mileage, and he was doing a lot of shorter, sharper workouts. And nowadays, training for the marathon, athletes tend to, they still like to run a lot, but their workouts are more dialed in around threshold intensity with higher volume. And they also tend to do a lot more stuff at specific paces, like around marathon pace. And they do long runs that include time spent at marathon pace. And the runs tend to be flat rather than out in the bush. So it's funny that we talk about this, because when you look at the Sundays that we have, like I ran with Mona on a lot of Sundays as part of our group down there. I was running in the Mona group. That's what it was called, because he was the leader, even if he wasn't running at the time. And we would run on one Sunday, we would run from Boyley's house, and we would run down through Canadian Forest and around Mount Helen, super hilly. And then the next week we would run from the Water Towers, which is up in Arena, and we would run through the Creswick State Forest. And these are hard runs. And when we weren't going out cruising, like you might look at the heart rate data from that run without seeing the elevation or the pace, and you would look at it and go, that guy's done a long run workout today. So the heart was it was getting a massive Sunday in with a lot of intensity, a lot of time spent in that marathon effort range. And so I actually think that the intensity of the Sundays isn't that much different from going out and doing a marathon progressive run on the flat. The paces are different, and I think that's probably where we're just dialing things in a little bit more these days, but I don't think the actual intensity were that different. The volume is still going to be similar, so that's probably the key to all of this. The volume's similar, the frequency is similar in terms of how often we're running. The workout on Tuesday is at a higher intensity. You would say like threshold to 10K effort, and it's shorter. But if you look at the weekly volume of intensity versus the volume of intensity in a mono week versus we'll call it the Platt Clohessy week, wasn't it? It was Clohessy. Wardlaw. It was their sort of weeks. Clohessy had that, he coached Deke, and then Wardlaw coached Mona, and I think it was very similar sort of setup. So the Wardlaw, will call it the system. It's called the system, I think.
Google it. Chuck into Google if you want to listen. If listeners are out there, I think if you Google Chris Wardlaw the system, like this PDF doc comes up. It's a good read.
Yeah, it is a good read. If you look at 3 workouts a week, the actual duration, you're probably doing a duration similar to that 1 workout a week that the marathon specific type training does. So breaking it all down, yes, it's put together differently. And yes, there are, I think, advancements in how science looks at how to approach marathon training that has moved the model on. But I think the fundamentals of preparing for a running race, the long run with intensity, the volume, the frequency of training, the touching all kind of bases throughout the week, like I just think there's just multiple ways to skin a cat.
I also think the shoe technology has changed the way people can train as well. Like I was chatting to Mona about it, but it's like it's very easy to now go out and run 25K worth of marathon pace stuff and actually recover fairly well from it. Whereas I'm pretty sure if you ask Mona, hey Mona, back in the day, could have you in your minimal racing flats gone out and run 4x5K at goal marathon pace, like he'd be so beat up that he couldn't then train properly the next day. So I do think the shoe technology meant that those guys couldn't train the way that they do train now.
Yes. Yeah, that's why those Sundays in the bush, you get the intensity without that like hard mechanical workload. So you might go up a hill for 10, 15 minutes and you're running 4-minute pace, but the intensity is worth 3:20 pace if you're on a flat road. And then you're going downhill and you're just getting an overall like better rounding of leg strength, I think, rather than just going out on the roads and like fully smashing your calves. If you were going to do that, there's no way you could do it.
Yeah, in those old shoes.
Yeah, no way. No way.
What about his consistency, Moose? Like I think when this person's written this listener question saying why does nobody train that way, he was pretty consistent, wasn't he? Like I know he had some injuries, but over the span of his career, have we also maybe Andy will talk about that as one of his strengths. He'll go, I haven't really changed much. I've just been doing it for a long period of time and stuff's starting to click. Like, would you, if you look at when he says others, Mona was faster than most now. If you look at the others in that same boat, like your Liams, your Bretts, your Jacks, your Pats, like, have they just not had the same run at it that Mona has? Like that, some of those
he
guys
was incredibly resilient, but
they would have been injured more times than Mona.
I don't think resilience got anything to do with luck either. Like people get injured for a reason. And that's what Mona had that dialed in for him. A lot of people got injured using that type of training system. Like a lot of people did that couldn't handle the frequency of the workouts within that sort of system. But Mona could. And I think it depends how you train those workouts too. Mona's the fastest in the group, right? So everyone is busting their ass to run with Mona. So Mona could slow down and work a little easier within those workouts, within those Sunday runs. And he could work in fourth gear when everyone else is in fifth gear, if that makes sense.
Or he's running in the right zone for the session and everybody else is running too hard because they're trying to keep up.
That's right.
And you see it in most groups.
Yep.
Most groups, like the top, everyone's trying to keep up the top guy.
Yeah. But he also, he's the most competitive person that I've ever met, and it's not even close. Like, this is a guy that will go out on an easy run around the lake and he'll have a busted Achilles, and we're running 5:10s, just jogging, because we did a massive run the day before, and someone will run past him. And this is a nobody. This is someone wearing a backpack, wearing shoes from Kmart. And he won't go, oh, good on that guy. Like, he'll increase his pace. He'll run, doesn't matter how fast this person's going, he will not let someone pass him on an easy run around the lake
it's his track, mate. It's his
60
track.
years old. It is unbelievable how competitive he is.
Oh, he still gets pissed now he's injured.
Yeah, on another planet of injury, of competitiveness.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't fathom it. It's just a whole nother world to me. And that's got to be a reason why he was up there. And keep in mind, maybe he was just a better athlete than even the athletes we have today.
Well, I was going to say, it's like you put him in new shoes and those new shoes allow him to train the way that people are training now. And what's he running? 205?
Yeah.
204?
What about even nutrition?
Yeah.
Like, we're all talking about how many I didn't even talk about that in my recap. Like, how much we're dialed into that now. Like, you're getting these big carb loads, you're getting these nutrition handed to you on course, different mixtures. So it's fructose and whatever the other one is. It's written on a precision thing somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. I think when you look at guys like Mona and Deke, it's like they were world champions or close to it for a reason. You know what I mean? Because they were the best of the generation.
And while we're on this, let's bring something else up, because I was sitting with Brady and we had a chat about this yesterday. I think it was Brockman he was sitting with Andy and wrote a post saying, "With the greatest to ever do it for Australia," or something. And even if he said the greatest marathoner we've ever had, I'm like, I'm going to disagree with that. Andy is the fastest marathoner that Australia's ever had. Yes. But he's not the greatest marathoner that we've ever had. The greatest marathoner that we ever had was the world champion in the marathon that won Boston Marathon, that was competitive across a decade at all the big marathons he went to. He demanded attention and paydays. He was a superstar. Maybe the second greatest, you could argue, could be the guy who won Berlin Marathon, or the guy who came
London.
And London Marathon.
World best half marathon. So I've just got it open now. I looked it up. Last minute marathon tips from the greatest Aussie to ever do it, at Andy Buchanan. Okay, so I'm going to step in there and say, Ned, you just ran a great time. I give you a pump up. Yeah, I need my hat. But you're not wrong. You're not right about that. So, and Andy is the fastest to ever do it, no doubt. But there's been greater runners than Andy Buchanan. Yeah, word selection's important there.
Mm-hmm.
See, and then Andy shared it. So does he think he's the greatest?
He didn't.
That was
he
my
did.
thing. Did Ryan Gregson still think he has the Australian record? Be careful what you're resharing, guys. Read them properly. Thanks to Precision Fuel and Hydration. Visit precisionhydration.com to use the code IR-SPRING2025 for 15% off your first order. Patreon supporters, you guys get 20. See the feed there. What's coming up? Oh, actually, have to Strintos. He also debuted over the weekend. He ran Hamburg. DNF at 20K, though, which isn't great because
What did he go through in? What was his pace at 20?
Yeah, I'll tell you. We've got big hopes for Haftu, don't we? Because we think he could be a good marathoner. Did come out, which I thought was very strange in that Runners Tribe article, and say that he wants to go through in 63 for his debut. And I was like, man, first 5K was 14:53. Second 5K was 14:47. So split sub 30 easy for that first 10. Then he ran 15:08 to 15K, and then got to 20K. He was 15:40. So the wheels were falling off from 15 to 20. Didn't record a halfway split. So early to pull out of a marathon. What's coming up? Grand Slam track this week. Hollingworth is out, Croaks, injured.
Gee.
Yeah, Jess Hull's there. Pete Bowles there, which is going to be great. Shanghai Diamond League's also happening. So they go head-to-head for the first time. Same weekends. Aragawi's in the 5K, Jude Thomas in the 5K, Sarah Billings in the 800. NordVPN, this week's sponsor, if you want to go to our Instagram bio and show notes to figure out how you want to watch that with a VPN, because it's looking like no one's got the official stream yet. Not sure if anyone's got second-tier streams, but I'd be getting a VPN and actually watching it properly if you want to enjoy that. Mooshaw on road to Ballarat tomorrow night, the finale over there. There's also a pacing survey they're going to talk about with Fed Uni. If you ran on the weekend, you put your bib number in and then you fill out this survey, and then they're trying to do like a study on it, which I'd love to see the data, because I feel like people made some mistakes yesterday, and I reckon it would be interesting to see. What else you got coming up, Chris, between now and next week?
Hopefully just getting fully healthy again so I can get back to the gym and get some running in. Hopefully start some sessions again at some point.
Get in there. Moose, what are you doing?
Just running. Thinking about, I'm not going to be this week, but I've entered Great Ocean Road Half Marathon, so I'm doing that. That's in 3 weeks.
The king returns. The king of Great Ocean Road
now
goes back down.
We know where there was a bit of fifth gear last week. He's got a race date.
How many weeks did you say?
Be 3 weeks from
this weekend.
Yesterday, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
2 weeks from this weekend, yeah.
It's enough time for him, Croaks.
It's a bit rough though, because I'm working down there on this massive days down there. They always cook me, so I'm gonna have to give Jimmy friend the he's gonna have to get a bit of pep talk Saturday morning and be like, "It's all you today, Jim. I'll be sitting over here at my chair, just directing traffic."
Someone stole a Garmin there last year, didn't they?
Fucking oath they did. Stop reminding me about that. It makes me really angry.
Well, there you go. There's your pep talk. There's your justification for just sort of standing back and just keeping an eye on things.
Put the German Shepherd on the table. Tie him up next to the table.
He was down there last year. I had him, and he fucking went a dog. This little shit dog come up to the bloody table, and he was like, "Nah, get out of here."
Real trigger, Croaks. People who can't control their dogs. This is one of them.
What about you, Brady? Having a few days off running?
Just rest. Yeah. Might do something later in the week, 20 minutes, something like that.
10 days off? Back. 10 days, I reckon.
10 days. Complete 10 days off.
You need to just take a rest for a while, please.
I've only just got back going, Moose. Got me Strava bar looking good.
Nah, I'm
in no rush. When's Gold Coast? I might do the half at Gold Coast. That's about 10 weeks away.
Yeah, I think it was 10 weeks yesterday.
2 or 3 weeks low, nothing. Then I'll just do a 6-week build. I reckon I could run 64 something for a half. 64 high.
I'm interested in how the coaching goes. I'll be tuning in for that.
Got to set up a Zoom call with my man. All right, boys. 2 hours, 10 minutes. See you later.
See ya. Have a good week.
Want to make your next race day the best one yet? Well, dialing in your nutrition strategy is one of the most effective ways you can do that. Luckily, our show sponsor, Precision Fuel and Hydration, offers you the chance to do this in the most effective way possible. Book a free consultation with their team to fine-tune your fueling plans. Emphasis here on you, as they offer tailored advice based on your circumstances and the race you're taking on. They're there to help you achieve your goals all year long, and as mentioned, this service is free of charge and a great opportunity to ask them any questions you may have about fueling and hydrating for your race. No question is too daft for them. We've loved Precision for a long while, and this free service is another reason why. Use the link in the show notes and use code IR-Spring2025 for 15% off your first order and start smashing those goals today.
Oh, my skin.